An athlete who wants better hydration, or a parent who wants something healthier for their kids. You want Evamore. E-V-A-M-O-R. Evamore. Available at great local retailers.
Who's cleaning your office building, medical facility, school, industrial, or manufacturing facility? Ever doubt that they're getting the job done when you leave the office? Stop worrying and reach out to the trusted local cleaning experts with a global reputation. Janny King, the king of clean. Make the switch today, like hundreds of other businesses have already done here in the greater Baton Rouge area, and leave your worries at the door. Go to JannyKingCleans.com and find out how we can help. That's JannyKingCleans.com.
Janny King, the king of clean.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Tuesday, March 19th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 64. In hour one of today's show, we'll talk the latest with the Saints free agency news and some SEC baseball. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now. Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what up, y'all? Tuesday. Hope you're having a great day. March 19, 2024. T-Bob, Jake, Alondra, and Taylor hanging out with you today. We got a ton to get to. The Saints finally making a splash in free agency. LSU baseball returning to the diamond tonight against the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. We'll look at the SC as a whole baseball-wise. We got some major news on the recruiting front. Can I interest you in some 2026 on 3 releasing their 2026 rankings, the first top 300, and I would not talk about it if Louisiana didn't maybe have the strongest showing of damn near any state in the entire country. So we'll get into what looks like a crazy class for 2026. We got some women's tournament action coming up. It's going to be a great show today. How about this, though? And I did not mean to start the show here, but I found a stat, Jake, that is sure to trigger and far too shocking not to mention. So the Pelicans playing the Nets tonight, right? Nets are not good this year, 26-42. They've lost 3 in a row. We're just reading kind of what's going on with the Nets. I read that Ben Simmons just had back surgery and he is out for the year. Now it's I know, yes, Taylor, my initial reaction was laughing as well. Now in some further reading, I can definitely empathize. It seems like he's having, some spinal issues. He's had 2 back surgeries now, nerves and everything, and nobody wants back problems. It sucks, right? But where maybe that empathy starts to fall apart is like, okay, well, I want to look up like a Simmons point scored to money made ratio. And just 4 days ago, somebody did the math on Reddit. 4 days ago. In 3 years in Brooklyn, Ben Simmons has made $106 million. 3 years, $106 million. He has scored 383 points. My friends, Ben Simmons has gotten paid $277,000 per point scored for the Brooklyn Nets. Per point? Meaning a layup is a cool $500,000. God forbid he hits a 3. And we get into $750,000, baby. That's crazy.
I think that was my salary my rookie season in the NFL.
Yeah.
Because it was like $280
per point scored. That's what Ben Simmons makes. Also, Luka. So he scored 383 points those 3 years. Luka scored 385 in the past 21 days. That's a crazy stat, bro. I didn't mean to start that way, but that blew my mind. How's everyone doing today?
Golly. I can only hope to be as good at my job as Phil is at predicting the weather.
Unbelievable. Well, okay, no. You ain't going to do this.
Cold again this morning.
You ain't going to do this.
Hey,
you
did this yesterday.
Freezing.
You ain't going to do this. It's crazy. It's crazy that y'all about to go after Punxsutawney Phil when there's one cold day after it's literally been beautiful and 70 to 80.
Last night.
Exactly.
Freezing this morning.
And what was it all like yesterday? For the past 2 weeks, it's been 70 to 80 degrees.
Rain, cold
yeah,
rain.
Spring. Hello. Rain happens in spring.
It does rain a lot.
Like, what are you talking about?
It rains every day here in Baton Rouge. So.
That's just how weather
It's
works.
freezing.
Nah, y'all ain't gonna try to rook.
Saw blankets at the ballpark last night.
Phil's getting exposed.
Because
hope I can be half as good.
Okay, you big dummies. Is it winter still?
According to Phil.
No. Don't play this game. Answer the question. Phil said it was
40
spring.
degrees outside. Yeah,
Phil
that's
said it was
winter.
spring. Okay, so
that's
it's winter.
winter vibe.
Well, it's just winter vibes.
Yeah.
Is it winter?
It feels like it.
It feels like it. Is it winter?
I don't know.
But he told me it's going to be an early spring.
It has been early spring.
No, it hasn't.
No, it really hasn't.
Y'all are sitting here refusing to say that it's winter. Tell me it's winter right now. Tell
It's
me.
winter.
Okay.
Winter.
That's a lie. You a lie. You're both lying, and you know it. That's why it took you so long to get there. Vibes, feels like. Y'all
It's
ain't gonna do this
winter.
to Phil.
40
No,
degrees.
but he told me it was going to be an early spring.
I had my
It has been
heater
an early
on.
spring.
No, it has not.
How did it feel at St. Patrick's Day Parade Saturday?
I don't know.
I
wasn't
didn't go
here.
to the parade.
I was
That's
cold
right.
in Shreveport.
That's right. You were too busy complaining about traffic while trying to run errands.
Yeah.
And you were up in Shreveport.
To
So
go,
Taylor,
I
I
was
don't
running
know.
So Phil
errands to
was
go to a
predicting the
party.
weather for Baton Rouge only?
Look, all I'm saying is y'all are tripping right now, and you know it's not winter, and you know Phil was right, so don't be coming after my boy like that. How's everyone
I don't know
doing
if
today?
it was an early winter, but
No, you're right. It was an early spring. So.
or it was an early spring.
No, try again. You
No.
already screwed it up.
I don't know if
Already
it was
dropped
an
the ball.
early spring.
No coming back from that.
I just did.
Nope.
Yeah, I did.
How's everyone doing today? Doing well? Yeah. Taylor, way to go. You ruined the softball team last night. Taylor worked the game, and softball loses 9-2 and loses, we just hate Mississippi schools, whether it's Mississippi State or Ole Miss. F. Way to go, Taylor.
Well, we talked about this. It doesn't extend to different sports. It was the baseball good luck charm only. So, different sports.
I'm going to go and listen to the tape. I feel like he might have said.
We said the Savannah Bananas game.
Yeah.
The party animals won when I went, and I worked the only
Exactly.
LSU victory over the weekend. That's baseball.
Okay. I mean, baseball and softball pretty similar.
But they're different sports.
Technically, I'll give you that. Alondra, how are we doing today?
I'm doing really well.
How did Jay Johnson show go last night?
It happened.
Mhm.
It didn't go over the air, though.
So if a coach's show happens in the woods and no one is around to hear it, did it actually happen? I guess it did because there were people
were
at the
around
restaurant.
to hear it, yeah.
At TJ Rip.
It was heard by a select few.
Look, I'll say
it was just exclusive. It was an exclusive first.
It didn't go
opening
off without a
night of-
hitch.
Right.
Trying to hear Jay Johnson's thoughts post-series has been next to impossible.
It's been hard.
I mean, I can't get a link to any post-game press conferences.
Tiger
no
Bay
recordings
posted something
there.
yesterday.
Now we don't even have the coach's show audio. I mean, what in the hell, guys?
I think Mercury might be in retrograde.
I did find some written quotes in a Matthew Brune on 3 article. So for whatever that's worth, we do have something.
And I do have
to break
audio
down.
of that quote.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so
Shout
we
out
have it
Tiger Bait.
local.
They posted something last night.
Okay, good
Yeah.
on Tiger Bait. Thank you, Tiger Bait, for doing our job for us. Jake, how you feeling today?
You know what my entertainment was last night?
No.
You getting in a calf off on Twitter.
How about
You got
that?
in a calf off? I missed this.
I can't.
I was dealing with
Is he a
technical
Texas
difficulties.
fan? I can't remember how we were. Oh, yeah. Yeah, what's his name? Kyle Umlang, that Texas guy, had some ridiculous stat that was like, there's only 2 teams that have, made the NCAA men's, women's, crew finals, track and field quarterfinals, volleyball regional tournaments, and it's Texas and Texas A&M. And then
Their volleyball team is dominating
I
right
actually
now.
made a Mars in retrograde joke, and I was like, and they're both undefeated.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were doing.
Oh,
You didn't
no,
see
I
that.
didn't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no. It's like, and they're both undefeated on Tuesday when the weather's 75 degrees and Mercury's blah, 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 right?
How many natties do they have?
Yeah.
In baseball,
no, we could combine the two schools if you want.
A lazy argument, but one that people always fall back on nonetheless.
We could combine the two schools, actually,
but it's okay.
if you want to
You can be a part of that argument. You won a national championship.
I think the national championship argument's lame.
I know, but you won one, so you can be a part of it.
Yeah,
Just join
I know,
us.
but I think it's lame. I'm not going to do it. Instead, I'd rather tell the guy that responded angrily to me about dancing around in a dress to not skip leg day.
It's not a dress.
Which would,
It's a kilt.
Which would eventually end in us both sending pictures of our calves to each other on Twitter, trying to decide who had this pure lower bodies, Taylor. If you want to go dig up that thread. And, I mean, look, his was a gym picture. Mine was a car picture. And to be honest, he looks like he's 4'9". That is such a weirdly proportioned, tiny little calf. It's a ripped calf. Like, his calf muscles have muscles, but it just looks so teensy and weird. It's like a little hobbit calf.
Like I said, that was entertainment for me.
To be fair, though, I had enough respect for him by the end of the calf off that I didn't even make fun of him for like look at that. That's a tiny leg.
Oh man,
a lot of muscle. Good definition.
Again, that honestly looks like the length of my forearm.
Yeah, it
really does.
And he's not helped by the shoe choice nor the shorts that
or the bent knee. The bent knee makes it look even shorter.
Well, and you never want to go shorts to mid knee anymore. You know. Yeah. Now bring up my calf, Taylor, because you'll see a beautiful, lithe,
milky,
long proportion.
He also doesn't
have
hair on his legs.
No.
Yeah, that's questionable.
No, that is someone who clearly shaves his legs.
Questionable.
I've never shaved my legs.
Why do you have that much time on your hands to be able to do that?
The last time I shaved something that was not
my
cheeks
this calf
or
off.
neck or
cheeks, huh?
underwear zone would be junior year of high school, in which I shaved my entire chest before spring break, only to feel like a prepubescent child and never do it again. I mean, look at that. That is a beautiful.
It's a good calf.
That is a beautiful, functional calf right there.
Agreed.
And that's just a little car pick. That was taken at a red light.
Yeah, you need a better pick of it.
Actually,
it's not doing you justice.
I think I easily win that.
Well,
yeah,
because not only that, I think this is a perfect pick. He's trying too hard to flex.
And
you're just sitting there in the car.
That's fair.
That's what I'm saying.
That's actually the perfect pick.
I think I came out and I was like, ooh, look at that calf.
I'm about to join this calf off because I'll beat that guy too.
Okay.
That's some pretty solid calves.
Yeah, let's smash him then. Just go ahead and hop in the thread and just just throw a picture in the calf off. In fact, anybody who wants to go ahead and hop in the calf.
You let me know when there's a handoff.
Let this guy know what's up. Yeah, we did not get into hands, but judging from his calf, I'm going to go ahead, and shoes for that matter, I'm going to go ahead and say the calf's probably not hand size.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe not as strong.
7-inch king.
He ain't much over 8. I mean, I'll maybe give him 8 1/4 max. Max. All right. So I didn't know exactly where this first segment was going to go. But here we are. What we need to get into next is what we said at the beginning of the show, which is the Saints actually doing something exciting in free agency, right? I love Mayo's analogy yesterday about like the Saints free agency moves basically being the crumpled up dollar bills that you find in a jacket that you haven't worn for a few weeks. Although to be fair, right before the show, I found a 5 in my pocket. Like maybe the 5 is like Willie Gay, you know? I'll give him above a 1. But yesterday you signed Chase Young, and there's some actual potential there, potentially. So let's break it down. Next, look, if you want to get involved, youtube.com/1045ESPN, hit the like button, sub, all that good stuff. And we'll see you with more OTB coming up.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Tommy's Windows, Doors, Siding. You need it. Tommy's got it. Okay, I'm talking vinyl or wood windows. I'm talking vinyl or hardy plank siding. And I'm talking any door you could possibly need. Tommy's been in this game for 27 years. Started his own company 7 years ago. He wanted to take advantage of the 2 decades of experience that he has built up. And, well, the results speak for themselves. Their customers are consistently satisfied to the point where they won the Angie Service Award 7 years in a row, y'all. So it's time to reinvest in yourself, in your home, in your greatest asset, by going to GEAUXTommies.com, GEAUXTommies.com.
Yeah, we always encourage you to go to the website to check out testimonials and galleries of what they can do for you and what they've already done for past clients. You can really get an idea of the work that they're going to do. And when you go to the website, you can also check out that Angie's List award every single year since 2016. Go Tommies.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
It's the details that make the difference between good enough and simply the best. At Skag Power Equipment, the difference is in designing lawnmowers with your convenience and comfort in mind. At Skag, we believe that quality and substance matter, and that you'll appreciate the attention to detail and craftsmanship we put into every single product. Thick steel and heavy-duty components provide you with unmatched reliability and performance. Skag, simply the best.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Join me for a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Pluckers. Getting you ready for the NIT opener LSU in North Texas, plus checking in on spring football. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Do you remember how it all began? It just seemed like heaven, so I did it. Do you remember?
Kevin, y'all. Welcome back to OTB. Let's talk about the Nolan Saints. As yesterday, big free agent news, finally a bit of a splash as the New Orleans Saints sign former NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year Chase Young to a 1-year, $13 million deal. He's our version of Minnesota's Marcus Davenport, but hopefully better. I mean, a bit more proven, to be fair.
Yeah.
Though Davenport did have a 9-sack season. He's never had that, but he had a great rookie year. He had a pretty good year last year. Remember, back in his first season with the Commanders, he had 7.5 sacks. They had that really good defensive line where they made the playoffs. Was that the Heineke-Brady year? Where in Brady's Super Bowl run, they actually gave them a better game than did anybody else.
He had 10 sacks a year ago.
Oh, I think he got to 10 last year?
He got to double between the two teams. Yeah.
Did he?
Yes.
I thought he had 5 and then 2.5.
If you count the playoffs. I think he had 10.
Okay. I did not know that. But I knew he had 1. I thought he had 5, 2.5, and then 1 in the Super Bowl. I might have missed one earlier in the the other rounds.
To your point, I'll take him over Marcus Davenport.
I will take him over Marcus Davenport. But also, it is funny because, like Marcus Davenport, it's a 1 year. Well, he got 1 year, $13 million in Minnesota last year.
Yeah.
So and now Chase Young getting 1 year, $13 million here. But look, this is a guy again, 7.5 sacks his first season, defensive rookie of the year. Then dealt with some major injury problems, which cost him. Now, and surprisingly, I mean, it causes Washington not to pick up his 5th-year option. They end up trading him to San Fran for a 3rd-round pick. San Francisco then choosing to not really pursue him either. These could all be construed as red flags, I would say. And these roads meant that now he arrived at the Saints, but both parties being a bit desperate, I would say, for one another. Or like the Saints really need pass rush, and Chase Young needs somebody who was going to give him a pretty nice chunk of change for 1 year to prove himself and then get a big deal. If I wanted to be very optimistic about it, not even getting into the numbers, which we can, Jake, I would say this. He suffered a major knee injury, right? Like, I think it was like patellar tendon, ligaments, like basically almost like a 1.5 year type of knee injury. So to come back from that and then put up the numbers he did last season, I'm like, okay, that's a guy who could be reascending a bit. Yeah. What was your initial reaction when you saw the Saints sign Chase Young?
I thought it was the first big move that they've made, obviously, this offseason, and this was a big edge rusher free agency year. Like, you look at some of the contracts that were passed out to Leonard Williams, Danielle Hunter.
What did Danielle Hunter get? I missed that.
Gosh, Danielle Hunter ended up getting 2 years, $49 million.
Shoo, let's go.
2 years, $49 million, and 48 guaranteed at signing. Grenard from Houston ended up getting 4 years, $76 million. Leonard Floyd got 2 years, $20 million. Autry got 2 years, $20 million. So this was a year in which these guys were going to get paid, and you start to look around at some of the money. Like Armstead got released from San Francisco, and he signs with Jacksonville, 3 years, $51 million. So there's a lot of money being spent on edge rusher. We know how important of a position it is, and so for you to get a Chase Young at $13 million, it's a prove-it year for him. It's a position of need for you. Mm-hmm. You get a guy that's 24 years old. He's still uber talented.
24.
Yeah, 24 years old. He's still got the talent. Now, he is, and also like he's not going to be counted on the only guy to get after the quarterback. You still got Granderson. You still got Cam Jordan. And we realize Cam Jordan is a different player now. He's still a player that can certainly help you. And you talk about a mentor for Chase Young. Like Cam Jordan feels like the perfect kind of mentor. So you like the move. The cost for it, considering what other edge rushers are going for, is not that high. And now you have the ability, in my opinion, to look elsewhere at 14, unless somebody you fall in love with a guy and he happens to fall to you, but you don't have to be as aggressive in the draft for that position. Maybe it's another position, but you don't have to move up to take maybe a Dallas Turner.
Yeah, even though I would still say if Dallas Turner somehow fell to you, like that would, that would still be probably
because this is a 1 year deal. But I'm saying you don't move from 14 to 8 and overpay to get up because you're like, man, we got to have some help. He helps you get after the quarterback, and now at 14, if you want to move up, it can be for another position, or if somebody falls to you, then you can select them.
No, you feel a need. And look, between him, Jordan, Granderson, I mean, I'll still allow room for Isaiah Foskey to get better, if nothing else, right? I mean, there's nowhere to go but up. I don't know what to make of Peyton Turner, but again, that's kind of a nowhere to go but up type of situation as well. But Tano Passanio's been pretty productive his entire time here. Like, yeah, you should be able to get production out of that group. I'm not going to say it's one of the best groups in the entire league. But that's
three
that's
first
solid.
rounders and a second rounder.
Yeah. That's solid. It should be solid at least, right?
And what Chase Young does is he rushes the passer. Like you look at his Pro Football Focus grades.
Yeah.
Pass rush 76, run defense 60.
So is he? Here's a question: is he the best pass rusher? Right, like signed to the Saints, is he immediately your best pass rusher? Because the numbers would seem to support that.
I think you could certainly make that argument. Now, he's certainly not the best all-around defensive end edge rusher that you have because the other guys are better against the run, and they're better against the run than I think you are, overall as a player because they can get after the quarterback better than you can stop the run. So probably better overall players, but this is why he was brought in. He was brought in to rush the passer. He's not going to be a 3-down defensive end. He's going to come in certain situations, and he's going to be the guy that you count on to create that pressure.
Yeah, and it was a weird year for him last year. He was dominating early on, 5 sacks in 7 games. In those 7, and before he got traded, right? In those first 7 games with Washington, he was generating pressures on 17% of his pass rushes. That was 5th highest in the NFL at that time. The Saints were the 5th lowest pressure team last year. I mentioned maybe being the best pass rusher. Even fact, now so he goes 5 sacks, 7 games. He goes 2.5 of the final 9 games of the Niners. Still had good pressure numbers. Then he gets a sack in the Super Bowl, a couple more in the playoffs as well, as Jake was alluding to. But 67 pressures for Young last year. That's 17th in the league. And when you look at what the Saints did, Granderson had 58. Cam Jordan had 45. So you're talking about significantly more than the best guys that you had. In fact, that 67 is only 3 less than a guy like Bradley Chubb. So, it feels like you got a young cat who's motivated, has a lot to play for. Although he did take kind of a defensive bent yesterday as he was multiple times asked, do you have something to prove? And here's what he had to say.
Really not excited to prove anything to anybody. I'm just going to go out there and be the best Chase Young I can be.
So kind of not, kind of actively fighting against this idea that it's a prove it deal. But I mean, that's exactly what it is, Chase. And don't worry, whatever you got to do, man, to be good, go get double-digit sacks, and you'll get paid $100 million, right? Or something around those lines.
And if you're getting $13 million to prove it, like a normal prove it deal would be closer to league minimum, or it'd be $5 million. Like $13 million still shows that you have something left that is intriguing to NFL teams. So it's not a completely like if you fail, you're going to be out of the league deal.
No.
It's a, hey, we think that in the right situation, you can turn this $13 million into $70 million.
Yeah, let's be clear. Again, 9 sacks is great. 9 sacks keeps you in the league for a very long time. To Jake's point, this is a prove that you can be one of the elite guys that will get, like we said, closer to $100 million. But it's not like, yes, he is, to be really, really clear about this, despite the 5th-year option not being picked up, despite San Fran not pursuing him after him being there with them last year, this is not someone who is on the edge of leaving the league or anything like that. You mentioned kind of that mentorship of Cam Jordan. Chase Young talked about that yesterday, calling him a Hall of Famer. He also mentioned the leadership of guys like Tyrann Mathieu, Demario Davis, which we all know those are 2 of the best in the entire league in that regard. And how about it, boys? I mean, we might as well start liking Ryan Day because the New Orleans Saints are basically Ohio State of the South. You know, you got Pete Werner, you got Latimore, you got Olave, and you got Chase Young. We have all the great players of the Ryan Day era.
You do. And again, like those players like we talk about when we talked about those other players like from years past, like they're coming from a big program, kind of ready to go. And Chase Young's well into his career, so you know that he's ready to go. But I'll be curious to see how they use him because, like, when you look at his splits as far as pass rush snaps, 480, run defense snaps, 247. So, like, he is somebody that is even, like, in San Francisco and in Washington, he's been on the field more for passing downs.
Yeah.
Like, I bet that number goes even higher for rush attempts compared to run defense.
You think they make him even a more specialized pass rusher?
I mean, I kind of would. And so, like, and I'm not saying he never plays on second down. That's not what I'm saying. But you paid Granderson already. He got a deal last year.
Yep.
You know Cam Jordan's going to be involved as well.
Yeah, how much does Granderson make?
I would tell him, I would be like, hey, here's what we're going to do with you. We want you to play whatever that set number of plays is per game, and we want you to come off the edge like you've never done before. Like, that is what we're counting on you to do. Sure, you'll be in there on second downs, but when we put you in, it is to get after the quarterback. And I wonder how much specializing in that, not worrying about run fits as much, can help his game.
I mean, it would, again, his pressure rate, to your point, would seem to point to someone who would thrive in a role like that. Somebody said, don't forget about Brian Brzee. Well, to be fair, we were only mentioning the edge guys, but Brzee does come into play because as who pointed this out in the chat? This is a good call. Adam Fields. Also, your main competition in the division has pretty immobile quarterbacks. True. And then if you got a guy like Brzee getting pressure up the middle, well, that just helps the edge rushers be that much more effective and vice versa. So, okay, yeah, I like what DA and company are building on the defensive side of the ball. And Chase Young, if even just 9 sacks, even if it was just be like 9 sacks or something, like that is very much worth it in my opinion, and that makes that group significantly better. This was about as good of a single year rental as you could have found in this market. And I think if you're a Saints fan, you should be excited, man. Again, it's not a guarantee. If he gets injured, like anytime you're on one of these proven deals, if an injury happens, it's a huge bummer. It's in fact what happened with Marcus Davenport last year with Minnesota. Now, I think Davenport's history has been defined by injuries, whereas Chase Young just had the one, right? I don't think that's fair to say to him. But yeah, certainly if he stays healthy, man, this looks like a bit of a home run for a front office that desperately needed a positive news piece.
I think it frees up a lot of things. I think it frees up a need for you. It's something that you had to add this offseason. We thought you would add it through the draft. But because your team has deficiencies in other places, now you can use one of those draft assets on if you want to go offensive lineman, right? Because Andrus Peat, he's going free agent visits. He's going to sign somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right? Hurst is somebody that's also a free agent. So if you miss out on 2 starting offensive linemen, you got to find somebody somewhere. You can't really count on Trevor Penning to play tackle. You can't count on him to kick down the guard, something he hasn't done. Now, I would love to see him be somewhere on the field, but you can't count on that. So now it opens up your ability to draft a offensive lineman in a deep offensive line class here at 14. You don't have to move up. In fact, you could probably move back a little bit if you wanted to maybe get an asset if there was a player that somebody else behind you liked more.
Yeah. Man, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little nervous about drafting no lineman right now. But look, man, I guess who are the last 2 first-rounders you took? Penny and Ramchick. In one, you had a guy that was a potential Hall of Famer.
Offensive lineman or
Caesar
tackle?
Reeves as
Caesar,
well, right?
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, you got old Caesar in there.
So that would explain maybe some of my gun-shy nature. Then you missed twice in a row. But maybe that means the math is on your side, right?
Hey.
Can't miss 3 times.
The odds are forever in your favor.
Yeah, I mean, if they hit at a 50% rate, well, this next shot should go in, right? Yeah, but yeah, to Jake's point, you are freed up kind of draft-wise now. And Penning, Turner, Foskey, bruh, somebody give me some. You know what I'm saying? Just somebody give me some. All 3 of those guys nowhere to go but up. Like, you can be a bit better.
Foskey has to be somewhere on the field. When you're a second-round selection, T-Bob, you're supposed to be a starter.
Yeah.
On offense or defense.
Yeah.
He's not close to being that, but you got to help somewhere. Even if it is some kind of a package for you, where it's you, Chase Young, Granderson's in the interior, Brzee's in the interior, and it's like we got the ultimate pass rush package. That's like you have to have something like that. But also, like, at least give me some help on teams. Like, at least go down there as a war daddy and cover a kick or something.
That's the problem with Penning is O-linemen have no team's value.
That's true. Go extra point. That's it.
Exactly. Like, what
but
are you gonna do? Anybody can
your
do
second round
extra point.
selection, you got it. Like, you have to help your team win football games. I was talking about yesterday. 3rd rounder, you too. Like, you got to help. 4th rounder, even. Like, you're expected to be there for the length of that 4-year contract. So when you're a second round selection, you have to bring value to the team, and he didn't bring anything to the team. And sure, he had some injuries, but he was healthy and was dressed and never showed up on the screen.
So here's hoping those guys get it going. But Chase Young, objectively, an exciting free agent pickup for the New Orleans Saints. That is bottom line. This is a signing that makes you better. It doesn't incur any great financial burden or risk. And really, it's a signing that only has upside, you know? And that's a very positive note for Saints fans after an offseason that has been wholly forgettable in many ways. All right, when we get back, let's get a little LSU baseball. Get ready back to the midweek tonight to bounce back from a disappointing weekend. Keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
K to Z Windows, KTOZBlinds.com. You need window coverage. You want Brandon Barton to come out to your home and tell you, give you an idea of what to do. They give you an idea of what you can do. And when I'm talking about reinvesting in your home and what these window coverings can do for your home, it's not just aesthetics. So obviously that's a major part of it, but it's the functionality, the utility of it. Whether it's helping to control temperature, if it's like a baby room and you want to keep the light out, master bedroom, theater room, whatever the case may be, starter home, home of your dreams, they got it all. Okay, even outdoor living spaces like Jake did. Go to KTOZBlinds.com.
Yeah, we've done exterior and interior now, and T-Bob said it like the shade in our backyard. It shades certainly outside, but also the interior in the living room keeps all the sun out of the house if that's what you want. They've done a Roman shade for us in the kitchen. Incredibly easy, fast process. Go check them out today. Get a consultation set up at K2ZBlinds.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Mascona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com.
Mascona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Shea Dixon joins us, talk recruiting, the latest on NFL free agency. We're getting you set for LSU North Texas in the NIT, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Sexy.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Happening, y'all. Welcome back. OTB. Did Chase Young play with Marshawn Latimore at Ohio State? Yeah, right? When have they been there at the same time? Am I crazy? Yeah. I think they came out same year, 1 year different. Yeah, maybe Olave wasn't there yet, but Werner would have been there as well. Just a couple old Buckeyes chopping it up.
Pete lost to Joe Burrow in the tire pool contest.
Yes, which never forget.
Never forget. That's what
so funny.
Matt Flynn said that day when he saw the video. That guy's going to win Heisman.
Yeah,
he did.
All right, so we talked Saints, a good Saints story for once. Very fun, to be positive. Now let's talk LSU baseball. Jay Johnson supposedly meeting with the media yesterday for the Jay Johnson Coaches Show. And look, there's a quote from preseason that I keep going back to. There's two quotes. First off, one from preseason with Jay Johnson where he told the players, look, I can't promise you anything except there will be adversity. And that is all I can promise you. Well, okay, adversity is struck here at the start. So I also thought it was pretty funny, Jake, in kind of thinking about this team. I would apply the film golden rule, the football film golden rule to this, which is it's never quite as good as you think it is. It's never quite as bad as you think it is. So that's why I was so. You have this quote here, Alondra. That's actually one of the reasons, that it's funny because I wrote that down and then I came across this. Here's what Jay Johnson had to say about what they went through this weekend.
Just kind of looking at it phase by phase is how I typically do it. I think, winning and losing starts and ends on the mound. I do not think we pitched well. I think there's a lot of things that are correctable that we need to go back and look at and do, which I think we already started doing that. And then defensively, we did not play our best. I think we have a good defensive team. I want to be very clear. I don't think we played great on defense. Offensively, there were a few bright spots. And what I told the team, last night is, scoring 18 runs over the course of a weekend or averaging 6 a game, it's not enough to sweep, in league. It's not enough to win all 3 games at all. I do think it's enough to win 2 out of 3, if the other elements are in order. And so I think it gives us a baseline there. Base running, nothing really reared its head as a bad play or any of those types of things. I think from a team standpoint, relative to attitude, competitiveness, effort, those types of things, I think being in that environment will help our team and our group of players advance.
So I did a bad job of setting that up, but basically one of the things that he had prefaced that with is like, it is the classic thing where it's not quite as good, it's not quite as bad. Like the mistakes that LSU made are so obvious that you would think they would be correctable, right? Especially when you consider the fact that most of it came from the mound. And if you look at your starting pitching, we still think those guys are supremely talented. Like you still think that Gage Jump and Luke Coleman will have better outings, or if that's your herd, than what you saw, that they can be better. And like he said, while offensively you need to be better, you scored enough to win 2 out of 3, you could argue. So not getting too high, not getting too low as Johnson, but some of the numbers from this weekend are pretty stark, right? Your starters in 13 1/3 gave up 13 earned runs. Your bullpen in 11 1/3 gave up 16. You gave up 41 hits, 5 home runs, 12 extra base hits, and you had 2 errors in each game. So you have to start to get that correct. And I'm really interested to see where the mentality of this team is tonight, Jake, because you got a good La Tech team coming to town. Bulldogs already got 16 wins, got the best record in the CUSA right now. They've won 3 in a row. And then you got Florida on the other side of this. Javen Coleman going to be on the mound. I want to see how this team bounces back.
Yeah, and this is a good team that's coming into town.
Yes.
Like Louisiana Tech is a good baseball program. So it's not just, they've played nice this year. No, they're a good program, and they've been in postseason play. So it's a good bounce-back opportunity in the midweek before you have a massive series at home against a really good team, one of the top teams in the country. And all the things that Jay Johnson is talking about, right, those are the things that you can work on in a game like this. And you've got Coleman starting tonight, and that is an arm that you're going to count on at some point on one of these weekends to do something, right? Probably out of the bullpen, but that is an arm that you're counting on this year. And so you're going out there to win the game, this midweek game. And every midweek game feels like it means way more to Jay Johnson than it has anybody else, right? And I love that about him. Like we saw Guidry and Ackenhausen come in game against Southeastern when they wanted to win that game. Same situation tonight. So it's the perfect spot. Now, it's a scary spot because Louisiana Tech is a very good baseball team that can come in here and certainly beat you, but it is a great opportunity for you to play a quality opponent as you head into the Florida series. So I actually like the scheduling tonight here for LSU.
I do as well. I wonder, do you let Coleman go extended? Do you try out some different arms? I mean, I know Johnson.
You tried almost everybody, it felt like, over the weekend.
Yeah. He did mention, Johnson did, that, look, Ackenhausen's got to get more than, was it like 10 pitches? Or I think is all he ended up having.
Yeah, and he used them once. And then Fidel Ulloa threw at one batter. Javen Coleman was not used at all.
When you hold Ackenhausen, like you hold him for that high leverage situation that just never felt like it came outside of the one time where he did pitch. And so, like, that's the tough spot for him because he has been somebody that when he comes in, you feel like you're in control of whatever the situation might be, and then you didn't really have that opportunity over the weekend. And, like, maybe you get him an inning tonight just because, like, you want him to be ready to go against Florida.
Let's do this. Let's go to break. When we get back, let's look at some SEC takeaways. Also, Lord Flexecutioner in the chat. I do want to talk a bit about Thatcher Hurd. Keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Coleman. Get it? Javen? Not really. Coleman Roofing and Construction. Coleman going to get the start tonight, but Coleman Roofing and Construction ready to start on your project whenever. Okay? Doesn't matter if it's anything commercial, residential. They do. That's why we call them the most complete roofing company in Louisiana. And the most reliable and respected. But I say complete because they can do any size job. They do it anywhere in the Gulf South region. They install any type of roof. They have certified installers for all the major brands. And they do the interior as well, the actual construction portion. So if you have like water damage, drywall insulation, like anything, right? Tree falls in the house, they'll fix it. Coleman, Roofing and Construction. Integrity, quality, innovation.
And that's commercial and residential roofing, right? So, like, if you own a big business anywhere in the state of Louisiana, something happens, they can cover you there. And it truly is a one-stop shop. And if you want to find out that information for your part of Louisiana, go to the website, find that number, ColemanRoof.com, ColemanRoof.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Bayou Ford has $7,500 off MSRP on new 23 Ford F-150 XLT trucks. $7,500 off plus 1.9% financing for 72 months. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. like cypress stumps. Your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Gulf Coast Bank and
Field is set for the 2024 NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament. Tune in for first-round coverage Thursday night at 6 and Friday night at 6. Then catch second-round coverage starting Saturday at noon and Sunday morning at 11, right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OJB. In terms of what happened in the SEC over the weekend, you had Vanderbilt completely roll Auburn. Maybe either that or Arkansas, the most impressive performance of the weekend. Arkansas, well, but I would say Vanderbilt better because Auburn's actually good, whereas Arkansas dominated Mizzou, who's not any good. But Vanderbilt beats Auburn 11-1, 13-5, 9-6. Vandy's now on a 13-game winning streak. Arkansas dominates Mizzou 8-0, 6-0, 9-1. Which is pretty insane. Only 1 run scored for Mizzou the entire week, and Hagen Smith, incredible once again. Oh, and as we mentioned yesterday, all 7 SEC road teams lost. And to be fair, 6 of the 7 hadn't even had a true road series. And that was almost the theme of the entire weekend was there's a pretty soft pre-conference schedule around the league, and it looked like a lot of teams maybe weren't ready for some of these challenges of the SEC. Alabama took the series from Tennessee. That was pretty wild, Jake. In Tuscaloosa, the Vols had won 17 in a row, and they come out and they win 11-3 Friday night, only for the Tide to come back 6-3 Saturday, 7-6 Sunday.
Intense games. I was watching on Sunday. It was, imagine this, Tennessee playing baseball. It was chirpy.
Yeah, in Tuscaloosa again because all the home teams held serve. Florida did that. They win 8-6 on Friday. Caglione hits 2 home runs and works 5 1/3, only allowing 1 earned run. Still a little wild, though. 5 walks to 7 Ks.
Yeah.
Then they lose on Saturday, Florida does, to A&M 10-6 before coming back and winning the rubber match on Sunday 4-2. Ole Miss takes 2 of 3 from South Carolina in Oxford. And finally, Kentucky sweeps Georgia, which for a Bulldog fan had to feel supremely disappointing. I mean, this is a Georgia team that was leading the nation in home runs coming into this. Charlie Condon, the best hitter in the country, and you saw none of that in weekend number 1. So here's to hoping that SEC home streak continues as you're going to welcome Caglione and that Florida team to town this weekend.
You surely want that. It's a very difficult team. Any way that you break Florida down, and there's a reason they were a top 5 preseason team, but you have to use the home field advantage because, like, that's not just a stat that happened last weekend. Like, there's obviously there's something to that in the SEC. You have a new team, right? You have a lot of players, and I asked Coach Johnson that last week, like, about a guy like Gage Jump, because Thatcher Hurd had been through it, Holman had been through it being in Alabama, but I'm like, hey, it's different, and when you get those juices flowing on the road. Right, and we saw Gage Jump have 3 walks, and he wasn't incredibly wild, but he was just missing his spot. And again, I said it yesterday, he had movement on his pitches, just like he has all season long, but he was just missing his spot. And you wonder, like, how much of that is being on the road for the first time. So there's a lot of things that you have to figure out. Now it's your turn to return the favor. And look, would you love a sweep? Yeah. But if you take 2 of 3 from Florida, you're right.
I don't care about a sweep.
Yeah, no,
we good.
I mean, look,
we good.
You take 2 of 3 from the Florida Gators in your place, you're right back where you started before you went to Starkville. I think.
No, I mean, look, I'm a 2 or 3 every week in Andy.
Yeah.
Knowing that, you'll probably fall into maybe 1, 2 if you're lucky on the entire year. So you got Florida LSU this week, and that's going to be great. How about this? Thursday through Saturday, Mississippi State at A&M. Figure out how real the Bulldogs are as they're going to hit the road. Arkansas, a 3-0 Arkansas facing a 3-0 Auburn on the Plains. Fascinating stuff there. Vandy at South Carolina. Vandy could have a really good conference record by the time Monday rolls around. Maybe no better opportunity than 3-0 Kentucky going to Como to take on 0-3 Mizzou. I mean, you'd be looking at a 5-1, maybe 6-0 Kentucky going into week 3.
Gosh, yeah, Kentucky was a postseason team obviously a year ago playing LSU, and so like what momentum that could bring to their baseball program. But like you mentioned it, Arkansas 3-0, Auburn 0-3. Like, let's say Arkansas takes 2 of 3, then an Auburn baseball team that had high aspirations to be a different ball club than they've been in years past and like get to the upper echelon of the SEC, they would be sitting there at 1-5 in conference play.
Well, and unfortunately, that's what LSU's staring down. Not that I think they're at risk of getting swept, but the difference between 3-3 and 2-4.
Yeah.
With, a 1 series and a loss series, a 2 loss series feels pretty stark considering it's actually only 1 game. And already you can see just how insanely competitive this league is shaping up to be. So it all starts tonight against La Tech, against the Bulldogs, the Diamond Dogs. Take care of business and, flush some of the bad energy from last weekend and get ready to hold serve at home. In the Box, Hour 2, coming up next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Pinnacle Exterior Construction, PEC. Good job, guys. PECbuilt.com is the website. And if you need fences, pergolas, bulkheads, any outdoor construction, they are your answer. But I want to talk to you about pools, okay? Don't listen to them. These guys are idiots, okay? Spring is here. Summer is right around the corner. You want a pool for this summer to cool off with you, the kids, make your dreams finally come true. There's financing options available. There's great prices. Go check out the spec pools from Pinnacle. You basically choose a template. You have a bunch of templates to choose from, and then you kind of choose your detail work on that. You make the pool your own, and then in just 2 weeks, you have a pool. PECbuilt.com.
Hey, when spring finally does get here,
it's already
just 2 weeks.
Yeah, they're already here.
That's it. I went to the pool last weekend. You'll be swimming in the spring. You'll certainly be swimming in the summer because of the efficiency over at Pinnacle. PECbuilt.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light?
Oh shoot, I forgot to play the song.
I got a guy who can fix this.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Tuesday, March 19th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 64 in hour 2 of today's show. We'll talk some LSU football, and then LSU women's basketball coach Kim Mulkey joins the show at 8:30. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what happened, y'all? Welcome in hour number 2 of OTB. T-Bob, Jacob Hester, and Tyler
from
hanging out with you
Spartanburg
today. From Livingston. Hope you're having a great day. We talked a lot of baseball in hour number 1, as well as the Saints signing Chase Young. In case you missed it, a really fantastic signing for the Saints. I mean, a guy in Chase Young who objectively, statistically, is your best pass rusher, like on signing, which it's a big improvement. It's 1 year, $13 million. It's no great financial commitment. He now joins what was already a top 10 defense in the NFL. For some reason, this combined with the Isaac Yiadom news, which we didn't really talk about yesterday. Taylor did put in the document, but we didn't get to it. But Isaac Yiadom signing with the Niners last year, and that was a bit of a loss, Saints. I thought he was really good filling in for Latimore last season in his 8 games. He was productive. But between the Yiadom news and now Young, I feel like the Latimore trade is probably more not going to happen than ever, right? Like it was only ever going to happen if somebody just gave you some king's ransom of a deal. And now I feel like the price has probably even gone up a bit because you don't have as much depth in that secondary.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, T. And it was a trade that you would always have to, like you said, you'd have to be blown away with the offer. I saw one floating out there. It was like, 14 in Latimore to move up to 5 and trade up with the Chargers. It's like, okay, man, if you can get him to the top 5 and there's a player because there's a lot of game changers in the top 5 in this draft, maybe you can make that work for you. But this is a productive player. You bring in another Ohio State guy that he's very familiar with. The relationship with Dennis Allen still doesn't feel great to me, but that seems like that's a couple of different players maybe in the Saints locker room. And so it's a guy that you can count on when healthy. Now, his health has been a concern, but he certainly, when he is healthy, he is one of the top players in the NFL at his position. And also, like, all jokes aside, like Mike Evans signs back with Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. Like, you want to counter Mike Evans.
Mike Evans killer.
Yeah, he is the guy. He is his kryptonite. So,
also, Chase Young, when asked why the Saints, said because they have a winning culture. Which is obviously, I mean, even I memed it, led to a lot of memes, right? But if we consider Chase Young's perspective, coming from Washington, yeah, I would think the Saints do have a winning culture. Maybe not in comparison with San Francisco, but again, like two teams can have winning cultures in his mind, right? It's not just because you play for San Fran doesn't mean that you can't think that any other team has a positive culture. So I'll take that at face value. And then whatever Dennis Allen told Chase Young, the pitch seems to have resonated with him. So a nice signing for your New Orleans Saints. Jake, I know your instincts here, because mine as well, is maybe to roll your eyes with what I want to talk about next. But I think the Louisiana bent to it is going to make it worth it.
Okay.
Can I interest you in some 2026 recruits? Yes, it's only 2024, but remember, this is like video game numbering where you're actually a year ahead, right? So like the 25 class is actually going to be signing in December of this year. So we're only a few months away.
Right.
So this is only a few months and a year away from these guys being uber relevant. The only reason I bring it up is on Monday, On3 released their first On 300. Get it? Stop 300.
I got it.
And I would not be bringing it up if Louisiana wasn't seemingly such a massive winner here. In fact, the article states, quote, "It can be argued that no state made a bigger splash than Louisiana." How about this? Number one overall recruit in the country in 2026. 8 in the top 300. 6 in the top 100. 3 in the top 10. You are talking about one of the lowest population states in America, and you're putting 3 in the top 10. And it's headlined by the St. Aug defensive lineman, interior defensive lineman, Jakeem Stewart. One of 3 5-stars in this initial 2026 On 300. I don't know, Jake, symbolically, functionally, you just paid Bo Davis $1.5 million. I don't know there has ever been, again, even if he doesn't like, maybe it's a B-bus, like whatever, symbolism in terms of winning, holding down the state, position of need. This is already a massive, massive glaring target for Bo Davis and the LSU Tigers.
Yeah, and typically we don't get this far ahead of ourselves in recruiting. There's other places that do it, obviously, at a different level than we do.
Yeah.
We like to, as you get closer and see who's actually going to be on campus and be in purple and gold. But to your point, you can start to get excited about this next recruiting class because you are right. Like December, like that's within this season. You're going to sign that 25 class that we've talked about. And so it is going to be sooner rather than later. And when you're talking about the moves that you made with the assistant coaches this year, it was with a class like this in mind.
Yep.
You go get a Bo Davis who played at LSU, has Louisiana ties. You get a Blake Baker who played at Tulane, has Louisiana ties, been at LSU. You bring back, obviously, Corey Raymond. Like, you made those moves in recruiting and on the field coaching, but also, like, recruiting was a large portion of that because they already knew the state. They knew the footprint of the state. They could walk into any gym in the state and they get in, right? There's no, hey, who are you? I don't know you. Who are you? Like, tell me about yourself. No, they know all of these coaches because they've been here. And, like, Blake Baker's recruited at multiple schools within the state. So that is a main portion. And obviously, you got to get better on the field, but it's the main portion of why you decided to bring guys that had ties to LSU back and bring them all back together at the same time.
Well, and another crazy thing to consider is that you were already recruiting the state very well before you made these coach changes. Remember, we mentioned it year one, in which Brian Kelly takes over very late in the cycle. I think you signed 4 of the top 10, and then last cycle it was 10 of the top 11 players in the state with no real major misses. And now you have this, and then obviously we all know about the 25 class where you now have the number 1 quarterback, running back, interior offensive lineman, and wide receiver committed. And now in 26. And again, the Jakeem Stewart stuff is news because it's not just the number 1 D lineman. Jakeem Stewart is the number 1 ranked player in the entire country. And anytime your state has that guy, that is going to be news from a long way out. But it's not just him. You have Lamar Brown right here in Baton Rouge. O-lineman, number 1 interior offensive lineman, number 4 player in the entire country. I'm pumped up to watch him this fall. I had no idea. You have Blaine Bradford, again, right here, Catholic High, number 10 overall player in the country, number 1 safety. And then you got the 4th-ranked tackle over there at East Ascension, who's a 17 overall. That's Bryson Martinez. You got Jabari Mack, number 6 wide receiver in the country, 40th player overall. He's at Destrehan. Aiden Hall, the number 7 safety at Edna Carr. Richard Anderson, the number 10 defensive lineman at Edna Carr. So overall, you're looking at a state that has 2 at their position, top 10 prospects on the D-line, O-line, and safety. All positions of need. So a really impressive showing from Louisiana here in this initial on 300. On 300. And I should mention Corinne Smith as well, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but a running back from Holy Cross that seems to be shooting up the rankings and found his way into the top 300.
The thing that I love most about this, honestly, though, T-Bob, defensive line and O-line being right there at the front of this, because LSU is never going to have a problem bringing in running backs, receivers, right? And DB, that's why you bring Corey Raymond back, bringing in DBs, although right now it's not to the standard of what LSU has had. Like, they've always had skill positions. Like, you got to get better up front. They have done that on the offensive line. That's why, in my opinion, a lot of people's opinion, you have the best total offensive line in the country. You have 2 of the best tackles in the country. You have the best tackle in the country. Now, defensive line, you've got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. So, like, getting these guys up front, that has to be priority number 1 in everything you do moving forward until that problem gets fixed, because it is a real problem. And it's not even a problem like with talent. It's just bodies. Like, you don't have them right now. I wouldn't be shocked, T-Bob, if they take like 3 interior defensive linemen in the portal. And the second portal window is going to be different than the first one. And remember, you can't take SEC players either. Even if they graduate, you can't do that. You can't. In the second window, they won't be eligible in the SEC. So you have to look out of conference, players you don't know as well, and that's where you got to lean on the evaluators in the personnel department, where they're watching this tape, they're evaluating these players in the portal because you're not familiar with them. Like, if
you got to set your expectation. I'm not expecting them to get a dog.
No,
I just need bodies. I just need functional bodies.
Somebody like I'm not trying, like Jordan Jefferson, like somebody who you're not really sure what he is, and he comes in and plays better than you thought.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's a guy that can go to the NFL Combine. He goes to the Senior Bowl. Like, you got the most out of that player. You need 2 or 3 Jordan Jeffersons from West Virginia last year.
Gulf South can't even take grad transfers? No. Yeah. Sankey's running a tight ship.
And I always thought that if it was a grad transfer, you could. But I was talking with somebody at LSU, and they said that is not the case. If they're in the SEC, it has to be first window for them to be eligible.
All right. But, yeah, Louisiana, look, 25 class looks great, but the 26 Louisiana class is one of those lightning special sort of classes. So here is your first foray into the far-flung future of the boot recruiting. Rebooting. All right, when we get back, OTB Mailbag, then we got Coach Kim Mulkey. Keep it locked here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. I love the website where you can start to explore all the offers that they got, the great deals they got going down, what they already have there on site. You can order directly. If you want to order a custom vehicle with All-Star Toyota Express, I would say probably go see them off of Airline and Goodwood, though, because I love the sales staff over there at All-Star. They're going to find you exactly what you need. I've gone in the past and been like, I have a number, and this is what I can afford to spend per month. Give me options. And I've found my way to very satisfactory answers. And I love my minivans now. So if that sounds appealing, a hybrid, saving money, it's all there for you at All-Star Toyota. Also, mention OTB, if you go into the service center, all makes and models welcome, you get $100 for that deductible. All-Star Toyota.
And you go to the website, and if you're buying new, if you're leasing, if you're renting, whatever you're looking for, everything is available. So no matter what you're looking for, midsize, full-size SUV, multiple trucks, multiple sedans, multiple hybrids, multiple everything over at All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off the new 23 Ram 1500 SCA truck. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $22,500 off the new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us.
Yeah. You know what? I like the players. No diggity, no doubt.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
It's going down, fades of Black Street. The homies got at me, collab creations. Bump like agony, no doubt. I put it down, never slouch. As long as my credit can vouch, a dog couldn't catch me ass out. Tell me who could stop with Dre making moves, attracting honeys like a magnet. Giving them mistakes with my mellow accent. Still moving this flavor with the homies Black Street and Teddy, the original rough shakers.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB. It's time for a little OTB Mailbag.
Special delivery! I have this special delivery for off the bench. And look, it is marked most urgent.
We'll be writing to you.
The internet. What the is the internet?
Hashtag OTB Mailbag. Should fans ever root for their team to lose? Yeah,
No.
I mean, yeah, in a tanking situation, yeah. If you've gone all in on tanking, there is, and I'm not saying that that's an awful place to be, but if you have, there's really no positive to winning. So yeah, I think there are edge cases where it is okay to root for your team to lose.
I don't love it. It
feels dirty.
I don't know that I've ever followed a team though that was in #1 pick territory. But I mean, the Chargers got number 5 because they started Easton Stick whenever Herbert got hurt, and I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
If the season's over, Herbert's hurt. Why not at least try to juice the draft pick a little bit?
See, I was more loose so you could get a new coach.
Yeah, well, so that's what else I was going to say too. If you hate your coach, yeah, like there's, I'm not going to hold it against you if you cheer for them to lose.
Yeah, because Jake, you were at the point where you're like, we have our quarterback. I don't really care if I'm in the top 3.
Still
at
an
this
awful
point.
feeling. Still an awful feeling.
It's not great.
Hashtag go to Mailbag. Favorite city you have been to that you would go back to right now if given the chance?
New York.
Shout out New York. Yeah, New York's great.
I love Nashville.
Nashville was cool.
Newport Beach, always my favorite spot to go visit family.
Never been to Newport. I would go back to Matamata in New Zealand, which is where the Shire is. And the reason being, word on the street is, I talked to somebody who went to the Shire recently. Word on the street is they're straight up building out the Shire into actual Airbnbs.
Whoa.
So now you're going to be able to go stay in hobbit holes, bro. Are you kidding me?
That's pretty cool.
Are you kidding me?
Found T-Bob's next vacation.
Yeah. When I get older, my stupid kids are like out the house. Hell yeah. Going back.
You just call your kids stupid?
Yeah. One of them can't even talk. Okay. Yeah. I've been trying to get him to say dad again for days, and he only wants to say mom. Freaking traitor quad bob. Hashtag OTB mailbag. I gave you my name, and now you won't even say dad anymore, you little punk. If Brock Bowers is a possibility, would you be okay with the Saints trading up, giving Carr's inability to be an effective QB without a high-end tight end? I don't want the Saints to trade up for anything. So that's a flat no for me, dog.
All right, Randy.
Yep.
I don't know. If you get him at 14, again, like the Saints have to be careful with trading up. And because some of their needs are some of the deepest positions in this draft, offensive line, another offensive weapon. I think it's too deep of a draft for you to really move up. And unless there's just a player that you're like, I cannot believe he's there still at 9, and you want to move up, which the Saints fall in love. They fall heavy and they fall fast. I still wouldn't love it, but it would have to be a player you absolutely have loved the entire process. But I say stay where you're at. There's going to be a player available. And I know tight end, Brock Bowers is the guy, but Brock Bowers is an F. He's not a Y. So you could draft a receiver that does a lot of the same things that Brock Bowers would do.
Yeah. I also, look, this is an offseason where the Saints are clearly trying to kind of reset for the future a bit. I don't want to give away future first-round picks.
Right.
So I don't want to trade up. Hashtag OTB mailbag. Who seems like a better hang, Chester Cheetah or Tony the Tiger? I think
Chester the Cheetah is definitely somebody that's done some sketchy stuff in his life.
Yes, you nailed it. Like Chester is definitely the more degenerate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tony's more wholesome. I think you know where I fall on that scale. So me and Chester would be doing some cheese puffs
I like
together
the
in the
sunglasses.
bathroom.
I'm going Chester as well.
Yeah, give me Chester all day long.
Although if I'm running like a kids camp or like going on a field trip, I need a chaperone. I'm 1,000% going Tony.
It did say hang. You're not hanging in any of those places.
That's
so
true.
I guess, Chester.
But Tony has a place as well. I'd take in a game with Tony for sure. Maybe have a couple beers.
Sporting event for sure.
Tony would love like a domestic light beer, but he's just not going too much beyond that.
I feel like Tony's sober.
I feel like he's not stone cold sober. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
But Tony does not allow himself to get out of control.
Yeah, he gets like a little buzz and he's like, I'm good. I'm done, guys.
Wine tasting. Good Tony the Tiger.
Yeah.
He's very, he keeps it between the lines.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag OTB mailbag. Did Matt McMahon make the right choice by leaving Murray State? Yeah, he makes over $3 million a year. So yeah. Also, I'd say LSU made a good choice, man. I mean, you had the biggest improvement, second biggest of any team in the entire country, save for South Carolina when it comes to conference win improvement. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Things are moving in the right
great
direction.
Path, yeah. And you're going to get players now that you couldn't get 2 years ago because 2 years ago, you didn't know if you were going to have the ability to make the postseason. You didn't know where the program was going to be as far as sanctions and all that. Feels like it's cleared up now. And so you're going to have the opportunity, I think, to recruit better players. And they've already got a couple of really nice recruits that have already committed to them. So, no, they're good.
Hashtag OTB mailbag. What sport other than football would y'all want to go pro in?
I mean, soccer.
Yeah.
You have so many opportunities. Every country in the world plays soccer and has a professional league.
True. I mean, for me personally, I always really liked basketball, and that's another one where you'd have a ton of opportunities.
Yep.
And there's not that many players on a roster, so if you're good enough, you get paid. I mean, we talked about Ben Simmons earlier, $270K per point. Yeah, I guess I'd say basketball.
Golf.
It's such a lonely existence, but I feel you.
I mean, you could finish 10th in a tournament. You're still making some cash. As long as you're a decent player, you can stick around for a lot.
I watched an unreal good YouTube video yesterday on John Daly, and I mean, I did not, I know the jokes. He loves drinking and junk food and ciggies, but I did not realize the true depth of the depravity of Daly. One time in the casino, he lost over $500,000, Jake, in like 10 minutes. He was doing $5,000 slot pulls.
Slot pulls?
Yes. $5K a piece.
That's a step too far.
How about this? He didn't he hates the dress codes at all these courses. He just bought his own golf course.
They'll do it.
And operates it at like a $250,000 to $300,000 loss a year just so that everybody can play. He's an absolute legend, dude. It's unreal. Just drinking. And in college, he couldn't keep the weight off, so his coach, who smoked cigarettes, told him to just pick up cigarettes. And so he went on a popcorn, Jack Daniels, and cigarette diet.
Popcorn?
Popcorn. He would only eat popcorn. He would smoke cigarettes, and he would drink Jack all day. He'd go practice for 3 to 4 hours and go back to drinking Jack. And he failed out of school, but then he turned pro in golf and just started kicking ass.
Yeah. And still do it and still playing.
Still playing.
Different events.
Unreal.
Also, his son's really good at golf. Looks a lot like him, but they won that, what was it? It was the father-son golf tournament a couple years ago.
You think he passed those traits down to his son?
I was about to say,
how he gets
surely
ready?
can't be anywhere close to as degenerate as a dad.
Well, his son's also like 14,
as his dad.
I think.
Yeah.
As his dad. No, I thought his son was at Arkansas or something. Is he not? He's young. Maybe he just always wears Arkansas gear. For some reason, I thought he was in college.
I thought he was like 14.
I love the people that make a bunch of money and just start doing stuff that whatever they want, like John Daly, the guy who's starting this the steroid Olympics where you're allowed to do steroids.
Yes, who is this again?
I don't know. I forget his name, but if I was a millionaire, that's exactly what I would do. I would make the Olympics steroid usable. That would be so much fun to watch.
The Enhanced Games by Dr. Aaron D'Souza? Or no,
Sure.
Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel is the one bankrolling the Enhanced Games.
I love it.
I wouldn't do that, but I would, I feel you on just doing whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Yeah. Hashtag OTB Mailbag. You can only eat one ice cream flavor the rest of your life. What is it? I mean,
Cookies
it's
and
so
cream.
easy. Vanilla.
Cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream.
Yeah.
Vanilla.
And cookies and cream's not even necessarily my favorite.
It's my fave.
But I feel like you would get consistency and it wouldn't be as boring as vanilla.
There's a new Bluebell flavor,
Vanilla's
butter
anything but
cake,
boring.
and I hear it's good.
I bought it last night.
Did
It
you
is
try
very
it?
good.
Yeah,
Yes,
Brittany
it's
was
awesome.
telling me it was good.
Gooey butter cake.
Yeah.
Also, John Daly's son, 20 years old. I was off.
Yeah.
Yes, he is a sophomore at Arkansas.
I mean, yeah. Her face is whatever. Butter cake.
Gooey.
Tasty.
Yeah.
Hashtag OTB Mailbag. Will Mike Tyson beat Jake Paul?
Maybe.
Yes.
If it's a real fight
100%.
and he doesn't take a payday to fall, yes.
He's looking
It's 50-50.
pretty, bruh. He's looking pretty damn good in these training videos. And I know we're seeing these small snippets, but I'd be scared. I'd be scared if I was Jakey.
Yeah, maybe.
Been watching a lot of my thanks to all of this talk too. My YouTube algorithm just keeps feeding me up old Mike Tyson videos.
Really?
And my God, that man was a
beast,
psychopath,
Yeah.
an animal, legend.
Yes.
As the kids say, built diff.
Yeah. I see. OTB Mailbag. Why do the Winter Olympics exist? I love the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, what do you mean? They're awesome.
Yeah.
Like all Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. They got a place.
And I'm gonna love the steroid Olympics.
Like I would have loved to play.
That does nothing for me. Steroid Olympics does less than nothing. Because not that I have anything against steroids or whatever, but they're not gonna be better athletes or anything.
I just want to see people
the only sport they will do better in will be maybe weightlifting.
Yeah.
But even then, all the actual best are going to be in the real Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just going to get a bunch of people who aren't that good but are just juiced to the gills.
Yeah, I got to be honest. Winter Olympics doesn't do it for me.
What?
Okay. What sport do you absolutely love and you tune into every time it's on?
Have you ever watched? Snowboarding, hockey, speed skating.
Oh, speed
Have you ever
skating's
watched
awesome.
ski jump?
Ski jump is
where
cool.
they fly
Ski
through
jump
the
is
air like
awesome.
7,000 feet.
So
Figure
the thing
skating?
about-
Figure skating's awesome.
The thing about ski jump that I've never understood, how do you practice that?
Yeah, no, like without dying, it's
When you do your
Without
first
dying.
ski jump, like how do you practice?
Well, it's like you see people in like freestyle motocross, and now I know they have like foam pits and stuff nowadays. But like, how did they do it back in the day? How did you learn how to do like a Superman without falling and snapping your neck? Yeah, shut up. Winter Olympics
I like
are
ski
awesome.
jumping. I could do without them though.
Do you even Miracle on Ice?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
All right, let's go to break. Taylor's ruined the segment. We got Coach Mulkey coming up next.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Get Gordon and get it done. 225-888-8888. The G Team. A lot of your favorite LSU athletes on the G Team. Hayden Travinsky, Alex Milazzo joining recently. Just a couple of catchers G'ing it up. Look, you follow him at Get Gordon on social media. Get great life advice, what to do after you get in an accident, how to protect yourself. You also get content with a lot of your favorite athletes. Remember, this entire women's basketball team, Kim Mulkey, they're all part of the G Team. So go where the winners go by getting Gordon and getting it done today. Get Gordon, get it done.
Yeah, go to the website, getgordon.com. There you can see what they can do for you in the courtroom, past client results in the courtroom, and you can get a consultation set up on the website. On social media, that handle is always going to be at Get Gordon as well, to see what they're doing in the community with your favorite Tigers like T-Bob mentioned. But also remember, it's throughout the state of Louisiana. So no matter where you're listening to, we are talking to you. Your area code in Louisiana, followed by 888-8888. That's Get Gordon and get it done.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Hey, it's Matt Mascona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
It's the details that make the difference between good enough and simply the best. At Skag Power Equipment, the difference is in designing lawnmowers with your convenience and comfort in mind. At Skag, we believe that quality and substance matter, and that you'll appreciate the attention to detail and craftsmanship we put into every single product. Thick steel and heavy-duty components provide you with unmatched reliability and performance. Skag, simply the best.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play. with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back, OTB. Every Tuesday, we are so blessed. We are lucky enough to get to talk to Coach Ken Mulkey, legend of the game. 4 national championships, 5 Final Four, 60-17 in the NCAA Tournament. Coach, what's going on? Thank you for joining us. Hey, before we get into the basketball, though, there's a lot to get to. There's a great piece in The Advocate today, and it has to do with a retired teacher from Dennis Springs named Paula Manfrey. And she had to go undergo some cardiovascular treatment, right? She was discovered to have had what is known as a widowmaker. Where it becomes interesting and how it ties into you is that she said the only reason why she got her heart checked is because you advocated for women over 52 to engage in cardiovascular screening. I know you've dealt with some of this as well. Coach, what does it mean to you to hear such kind of a direct, life-saving success story based off of something that you said?
T-Bob, that is exactly why I shared my personal health story. I think Rabelais with The Advocate asked me to do it. And, you know, a lot of people are afraid to talk about anything within their family because it's personal. And I'm really the opposite. I think if I have a platform and I can save just one life, that's what I should do. And so I did do the story. And I think in the story I said, if this saves one life, it was well worth sharing my story. And we were taking off to go to the SEC tournament, and they had a send-off, and this lady walked up to me and started telling me the story. And, of course, it brought tears to my eyes because it sounds like the widowmaker, and what she had is a little bit more serious. They're all serious when you have to deal with blockages in the heart, so don't let me make it light. But when she said widowmaker, I thought, oh, boy.
Yeah.
And our media relations guy got her name and story, and I want to say Rabelais even walked up because he was at the send-off, and so I'm sure that's how the story got out there. But that's why you share these things, so that you try to help somebody else, and it's touching, and at the same time, it's a great story. I wonder if the AP guy that wrote what a horrible person I am, I wonder if he.
Yeah, I mean, bro, we've talked about it, Coach. It's crazy how they seem to have it out for you. By the way, if you want to read the story, Reed Darcy wrote the latest piece. It's in The Advocate today. It's very heartwarming. And again, like, let's remind everyone that, you know, if you're listening to this right now, maybe go get screened, go get checked out. Why not?
Bob, let me say this. The thing that I would tell people is you don't look at me and think I would have a heart issue.
Yeah.
I had no symptoms. It was found by accident. And so now I tell everybody over 50, what do you have to do? Go do it. Go get on a treadmill, and it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yep, absolutely. So some good life advice to kick off today's visit. Now let's get into the basketball. Coach, Selection Sunday this past week, and my God, y'all this is a tough region. You know, people are calling it the group of death. We're talking about 9 teams in the top 26 net. No other region has more than 6. You're talking about teams that, according to the expert, LSU, West Virginia, Colorado, Middle Tennessee, UNLV, Kansas State, all underseeded compared to what they projected to be based off of the numbers. There's the most star power in this bracket, and it's not even close. What's been yours and your team's reaction to joining what people are calling the group of death?
We haven't even discussed it like that. What I did yesterday is I presented the bracket to them, mainly for those that are freshmen, because it's new. This is what we this is what it's about, first and second rounds. And if we win, you're explaining to the freshmen a little bit about how this all works. Never discuss the toughness of it. That's, why. We got to play them. We can't change it. My approach to it has always been of late. The older I get, the committee never surprises me anymore. But we do have a tough bracket. And I'm not really sure how they come to pick all of that. I do feel sorry for the fact that UCLA and many teams out west have to get on an airplane if they win and basically fly to Canada, because Albany is just about in Canada.
Yeah.
And yet, it is what it is, and you just got to go play. And if you're going to be a champion, you got to beat everybody anyway. But there are some brackets that are, in my opinion, definitely easier than this bracket.
And, Coach, obviously you can't look too far ahead because you don't know how chaotic it's going to be as you move on. And so, is that something even with your older players that you just kind of give them a quick reminder of staying in the moment, staying within, hey, we play Rice, and then we'll get to the other stuff when it happens, just because, as we all know, like in the NCAA tournament, you never know. Like we see teams that we don't think have a chance to win all the time in the NCAA tournament.
You are exactly right, Hester. Let me tell you, I coach the next game, and I will definitely today, if you watch us practice, it's going to be about defense and defending Rice, and then we've got to defend who we think will win the next game, and I don't know who I think will win the next game. I think, if my memory serves me, Middle Tennessee played Louisville last year and beat them pretty handedly, yet Louisville finished 5th in the ACC this year. An interesting little tidbit, this is when you know you're getting older. Okay, 2 of my former managers are assistant coaches at Rice.
Wow.
And one of my former All-Americans is an assistant coach at Middle Tennessee.
Wow.
And so they know me inside and out. They know what I bring offensively and defensively, and I look forward to seeing them. But it's just amazing that not only do you have former players in this business now, I have probably more former managers that are in coaching than players.
Well, and Coach, you mentioned after the SEC championship, right, how you loved your team's form, right, defensively especially, really rounding into form. Really, the only thing that would have held you back from when you started the tournament the next day would have been health-wise. And I apologize because I know you've answered this, but just for our show's purposes, I mean, last year, Poa seems like she's on the road to recovery. Angel's ankle, good to go. How are you feeling health-wise entering Friday's tournament?
Absolutely. Michaela Williams is playing full practice every day, getting back into rhythm on her shot and stuff defensively. Angel moved around great yesterday. Poa was actually in practice gear, making passes on the court yesterday. Nice. No contact. She is making progress every day. Her parents have been here for 4 or 5 days. They left last night to go back to Australia. So everything is looking good. I have not specifically asked if Poa will be available this weekend. The way I work with that is you tap me on the shoulder as a trainer and you let me know, hey, she's good to go full speed. And when they do that, then Poa will be playing and back at where she was. We need Poa. We're a much better team when Poa is at the point because it allows me to have a rotation on the wing between Flau'jae and Michaela and Haley at her natural position, and I just think we flow a little bit better.
Coach, you've talked about this before, like having the ability, like things we're talking about, like trying to get a player healthy and not having to travel, hosting these games in Baton Rouge, just like we talk about that in college football playoff on the football side of things. This will be the first time that you get to host a playoff game, but just talk about what that means to your team, knowing you can practice in your gym, get ready in your facility, watch tape in your video room, and what kind of advantage that can be for you.
Well, certainly it is an advantage. It's not a guarantee that you're going to win, but we've been blessed since I've been here to host all 3 years, and we've been a 3 seed all 3 years. And it's been very, very good for us. The first year we lost in the second game against Ohio State, and then, of course, last year we went on and won the whole thing, and then this year, guys, we've got 3 tough teams coming in here. I mean, it's not going to be a cakewalk by any stretch. I mean, Middle Tennessee, Rick Insel, their coach, he's a Hall of Fame coach. That man can flat out coach, and he's just good at what he does. And they beat Tennessee this year. Middle Tennessee beat them on a neutral court. And so the Louisville speaks for itself in the history of what Jeff Waltz has done at Louisville. So this is going to be a tough little first and second round. And I can assure you, if you don't have a ticket, you better try to get one. And because the NCAA takes over tomorrow now, and we have to send certain allotment of tickets to each school. But that doesn't mean each school will use up their allotment. And I would be in the ticket office and say, hey, put me on a list because this is going to be some good basketball this weekend.
Coach, and when you're talking about tournament time, it's so crazy in terms of just kind of like how the sport is made up, right? And that it's like everything builds towards this, and then it is such an all or nothing affair. And yet, as I mentioned, a 60-17 record in this tournament in your career. What are the traits or the elements or the techniques that you employ to find consistency with so much on the line? Like, you can't have an off day because the second you have an off day, you're done.
Well, was it ABC? Who used to have that great commercial, The Thrill of Victory and the Agony of
the wide world of sports back in the day?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what this is. And what you hope you have within a program is experience, because experience matters. And that experience can come from a head coach, can come from an assistant coach, it can come from a player. But you have to have someone that has the ability to get extremely excited, but not overly excited, and you got to get the work done. What will be new for several in my locker room is they've never been in the NCAA tournament, and it's just got a little bit different feel. The game itself is the same, but it's just that excitement, and it's just that thought in the back of every player's mind and every coach's mind, you better win and advance or you're going home, and that's not a good feeling.
Coach, before we get you out of here, I got to ask you about the first pitch the other night at the Bananas game. I agree with you. I thought it was a hell of a pitch.
Hell of a pitch,
Coach. I don't know that I could get up there and throw it like you did. I mean, there was some movement, there was some speed. I gotta give you some credit, and I know that Kramer had to appreciate you going out there and throwing that kind of strike.
Listen, man, I played that sport before I played anything else. When I got on that mound, I said, "Where's the rosin bag?" They went and got the rosin bag. I had fun with it, and I hope everybody, they like to hate on me on the national media, but somebody said it was on Good Morning America, and it was all in great fun. Had my grandkids there, had my Fuller family, my son-in-law's family there, and we were sitting in a suite, and they asked me if I would play a part in it, and of course, I'm going to play a part and have fun, and that's a side a lot of people don't see, and whatever. And I said, sure, let's go have fun.
Coach, I gotta say, the acting chops were there. I mean, maybe it's because you've had an interaction with a ref or two in your day, but like it felt very natural.
Well, I've watched a lot of sports, guys.
Yeah.
I studied managers in baseball. And through the years, I've seen my share get ejected, so they asked me to play the part. So I thought, okay, what am I going to do here? Well, kick dirt. So that's what I did.
Yeah,
Billy Martin with the Yankees years ago, man, he would let those umpires have it with the dirt kicking.
It was excellent, Coach. Sorry, last one. How was the game, though? Family had fun. It seemed like a pretty cool experience.
Now, you got to understand that it is entertainment.
Yeah.
And the thing I love the most is, they play so much music, and you just get into the music. It's nonstop music, and then it's entertainment, and that's whoever came up with that idea was really brilliant, because how long it lasts, I don't know, but it is flat out entertainment.
2 hours. Like, that's their goal, Coach. Nothing's supposed to go over 2 hours. Their goal is to get you in and out.
I'm a purist. I love real baseball, but I am also a grandmother, and I wanted my kids to enjoy it, and they did.
Heck yeah. Well, it was awesome. I know you brought a smile to a ton of people's faces. And like you said, Good Morning America, eating it up, loving it. this Friday, LSU, Rice, tournament time. Coach, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's a crazy week, and best of luck going into this weekend.
Thank you, guys. Take care now.
Yes,
Coach.
will do. Coach Kim Mulkey joins us every Tuesday. We're so lucky. So lucky. I would go to the mat for that woman. Anybody who wants to square. That's like I was ready to fight FTW, USA Today or whatever yesterday. Here's a literal title they rolled with just from her sitting during the announcement video. Kim Mulkey seems so annoyed over LSU March Madness seeding. And then the first line was, Kim Mulkey's accustomed to making headlines for all the wrong reasons. And Selection Sunday was no different.
What?
Frig off, Ricky.
For sitting down?
Frig off, Ricky. SMD, get out of here,
Who's
dude.
Ricky? Who?
Sorry, that's from Trailer Park Boys.
Oh.
But Ricky's no one. But you get the sentiment. Frig off. You know?
Yeah.
Get out of here, dude.
My favorite headline is... Hold on one second. Sorry.
She was sitting?
I was ready.
Just sitting, just for being like, hello, she's a 4-time national champ. Sorry if she's like, what did you want her to do? You want to get all excited about being a 3-seed? Get the hell out of here.
Well, it's a business trip, too. Like, she's locked in.
Yeah.
She's ready to
That's
go.
what I'm saying, dude.
That's for the players. The players are the celebrate. The coach is supposed to be locked in.
That's the Mulkey derangement syndrome that you see sometimes.
Oh, now you're getting a Twitter war.
Well, okay, Lodge, real quick, because we're very late. What you got?
It was LSU coach Kim Mulkey manages to go even lower after brawl at
Oh my
SEC
God, dude!
Championship
Oh my
because that
God!
brawl was all Kim Mulkey's
brawl!
fault. Yeah,
brawl is a rich
Brawl,
word.
yeah.
Get the hell out of here. We love Coach on this program. That's all that
Oh, I'll
matters.
defend her like
Love
Jon
you, Coach.
Snow at the Battle of Bastards. I'm getting the sword out and I'm ready.
All right, when we get back, real quick, and then we got Nick Underhill kicking off hour 3. Keep it locked, OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Community Steel Co., CommunitySteelCo.com. You need real steel. You need Community Steel. They're right there in Gonzales, Louisiana. You need purlin, tubing, steel building, sheet metal. It's all there. And you can touch the product, feel the product, get to know the product before you buy it. You can also get to know the live and local sales team. And because they buy their steel directly from the wholesaler and they make it all there on site, there's no middleman jacking up the price for the consumers on the back end, meaning you get the best prices, the best product with actual real live local human beings. It's an unbeatable experience, an unbeatable deal for all your steel. CommunitySteelCo.com.
You can go see him in person in Gonzales, Louisiana. Go to that website T-Bob just gave you. Go to the top right corner of that site. Click on Community Steel. Show you exactly where they're at. They've been there already for almost 2 hours. And you can also, though, if you're not listening here in this area, you want to pick up the phone, give them a call, 225-647-2020, and always online at CommunitySteelCo.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light?
Oh, shoot, I forgot to play the song. I got a guy who can fix this.
It's the details that make the difference between good enough and simply the best. At Skag Power Equipment, the difference is in designing lawnmowers with your convenience and comfort in mind. At Skag, we believe that quality and substance matter, and that you'll appreciate the attention to detail and craftsmanship we put into every single product. Thick steel and heavy-duty components provide you with unmatched reliability and performance. Skag, simply the best.
Bayou Ford has $7,500 off MSRP on new 23 Ford F-150 XLT trucks. $7,500 off plus 1.9% financing for 72 months. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, so I wanted to go long with Coach Mulkey there. So unfortunately, only a minute here. That's on us. But, we've been better about it as of late. Coming up next hour, though, we're going to kick off with Nick Underhill. Nick has been in the lab studying Chase Young film.
With a pen and a pad?
Without a doubt. Actually, yeah, I wonder if he still uses, when taking notes, if he still uses a pen and a legal pad. I don't know for sure.
I do.
No, I know, but you're a bit more old school in nature. Though many people like the visceral nature of a pen and a pad. I used to when I started in this business.
Yeah, nice. It's got to be, though, the Papermate flare tip medium pen.
Is it those like felt feeling ones that you always have? Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry. I just get hand cramps if I try to write too much now.
That's because you got to train your hand.
Nah,
just like any other muscle in your body.
I can type 7,000 times faster than I can.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be able to read that. I actually, when I do commercials on Sirius, I like to write them out. I don't like reading them off the screen.
What?
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. Oh, well, that's Nick what he does. All right, Nick Underhill coming up next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off the new 23 Ram 1500 SCA truck. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $22,500 off the new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Mascona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
It's the details that make the difference between good enough and simply the best. At Skag Power Equipment, the difference is in designing lawnmowers with your convenience and comfort in mind. At Skag, we believe that quality and substance matter, and that you'll appreciate the attention to detail and craftsmanship we put into every single product. Thick steel and heavy-duty components provide you with unmatched reliability and performance. Skag, simply the best.
Land, it's important to go with a lender who has experience in financing rural land. That's why I went with First South when I bought my property. And with flexible terms up to 30 years and competitive rates, they can build a loan package that's right for you. Visit them online at firstsouthland.com or stop by one of their branches. Have a cup of coffee and find out why First South is your first call for financing land. firstsouthland.com.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Tuesday, March 19th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 64. In hour 3 of today's show, Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football joins us at 9 a.m. and we'll preview LSU men's and women's basketball in their tournaments. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch them in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. Hour number 3, every single Tuesday, we kick off hour 3 with our guy, Nick Underhill from New Orleans Football. Saints offseason rolling right along, and New Orleans Football is the site, man. It is so worth the subscription. Mike Triplett, Nick Underhill, and the whole team over there doing fantastic work, whether it's video, written analysis, pods, the YouTube channel. Really fantastic stuff. I'm a proud subscriber. You should go check them out, New Orleans Football. Nick, what's up, man? So yesterday, Devin Snow came on, as he does every Monday, and I thought he had a very funny bit where he talked about Nathan Peterman being akin to, like, putting on a jacket and finding, like, a crumpled up dollar bill that's been there for a few weeks. Like, oh, look at that, dude. But not a day later, an actual splash. Very exciting news. Chase Young joining the Saints on a 1-year, $13 million deal. Makes sense for all parties. Let's start here. Is Chase Young, at the time of signing, immediately your best pass rusher?
He's the one with the most upside. You know, I do think that there is downside here, obviously. I mean, he's missed a lot of time in his career, and he's been inconsistent, and that's kind of been the story of his NFL journey since, you know, coming in and being the Rookie of the Year in 2020. But no doubt about it, he has the most upside and the most talent, I think, of any of these guys, given where they're all at their current point in their career. He was 17th in the NFL in pressures last year with 67. So that's 3 below Bradley Chubb. Like, so in terms of how much pressure he's getting, he's right there on the quarterback as well as anybody. And, you know, I do think that you do have to account for the injuries. Like, that was a major knee injury he had when he tore his patella and ACL, and it was a long time coming back. And then last year, I don't think people realize how injured he was. If you remember in the preseason, he got lit up and hurt his back pretty bad. He dealt with a neck injury the whole entire season. I don't think it was talked about a lot. So that was kind of an issue, but he finished with 7.5 sacks. Spends most of his career in Washington, which, I think all things being fair, like that's not a great culture to be in. And granted, he ended up in San Francisco last year, so he's been in a winning culture. But I think coming here, you can kind of establish yourself in a better culture than what Washington has, at least, and kind of settle into it a little bit. But I like the upside of the signing. Everything goes right. Like you might end up with a really, really talented player for a year. And I kind of like the theme of their offseason right now. Like they've went along and they're doing things to clean up their cap, to get into a better place. Yet they've still added players that I think if you look at them, you can kind of get excited about them and say, hey, if everything goes right, this might work out. Like Chase Young's definitely one. Willie Gay's someone, I think, with a lot of upside. If everything goes right, he could end up being a starter and elevating your linebacker core. If not, worst come to worst, he pushes Pete Werner to be better, and that's a win for your team. Cedric Wilson, if you go back 3 years ago to Dallas, he's leaving there. He gets a 3-year, $20 million deal with $15 million guaranteed because he was such a high upside, talented player at the time. And, he had a couple down years in Miami, and you got to figure out why that happened. Was it just Tyreek and Waddle eating up all the targets? Was he not getting open? But, if he turns it back to Dallas, you got a great player on a very low contract. So they've done a good job of placing their chips, I think, on spots where if it hits, you can make a lot of money and, walk out of the casino paid. And if you miss, it's really no harm lost because you aren't overly committed to anybody at this point. So I think they're doing a good job of having a vision of how they want to do this, and everything tells the same story. So on that hand, I feel like they're having a good free agency because they're just at least accomplishing what it looks like they're trying to accomplish.
What do you think the roles, if you had to guess, and I know that obviously it has to play itself out, but so for Young and for Gay in this defense, what do you think their roles will be? Because we were trying to talk about Chase Young. Would it be, hey, rush specialist, because you got Granderson, you've got Jordan, and where did these two free agents kind of find their way in this defense?
I think for Young, the hope probably is that he's kind of, a pretty much a 3-down player or someone that can play all 3 down. Obviously they're going to rotate everybody in, and I think people have different situations. And, I think this allows Cam, if everything hits, if in Chases who you think he's going to be and all that stuff, if everything plays out the way they want it to, I think it allows Cam to be more of a rundown player, which is a good thing for them. Granderson's gotten a lot better at that. So, on that hand, I think they have options to get guys in their best spot and put them in spots where they can accentuate their talents and minimize some of the weaknesses. But I think they want Young to be someone that's out there quite a bit and can do a lot of everything. For Willie Gay, when they signed, I think the idea genuinely is for him to come in and compete with Pete Werner. And I think that the team has a lot of belief in Pete Werner. They like who he is as a player. But I think just objectively last year, he didn't continue the ascension that you wanted to see from him. I think it kind of flattened out a little bit. And I think that Willie Gay is genuinely here to compete for a starting spot, and you might be able to push him. I think that's going to be a good battle in camp. And Werner's entering the last year of his contract, so either he steps up and he wins that job, and if he does do that, he ends up getting paid a lot more money because his tape's a lot better and all that stuff. And if not, the Saints get a player with I think Willie Gay can make a lot of impact. I like him a lot. When you watch him, it's kind of like Quan Alexander plus a little bit. He can cover a lot of the field. Yeah. He has a lot of range. He's really good getting to the flats. He's good against the run. The downside with him is I think there's a lot of plays where you watch him and it'll be kind of like a bootleg, and he's covering a tight end, and then the quarterback starts flushing out, and he gets caught watching the quarterback, and he's trying to figure out where the ball's going, and then all of a sudden the tight end's running behind him, and he's wide open for a 15-yard gain. I think that's kind of some of the stuff they need to clean up with him a little bit. So, there's a reason he signed a 1-year contract, and when you watch it, you can kind of see it a little bit. But if he kind of washes that out a little bit, gets a little bit more consistent, I think they might have got a really good player.
Yeah, look, don't worry. The bootlegs have never given the Saints problems traditionally. For those that don't get it, Nick's written extensively about that issue. Nick, I imagine you're already in your Chase Young beautiful mind watching every NFL snap he's ever played, even though you are so busy nowadays. What has the early film told you on Young? What's it showing you?
I think he's exactly as advertised. Everything that you think about him is kind of what he is. And the upside and the highlights, it's, man, this is why the guy was the number 2 pick in the draft. He's fast, he's explosive. He he rushes with the plan. He's got a lot of ways that he can win. He can make, tackles look really bad. Like he can dominate at times. And then there'll be times where you watch a whole game and it's kind of like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? It's just like you're kind of sitting there waiting and nothing really ever pops. So I think it's that consistency element. But I mean, he was more active last year than I think his reputation is, at least people talk about him on the internet. Like there's a lot of good stuff last year. Like there is a lot of consistent pressure. I thought he was kind of dominating in Washington early in the year. Like the pressure rate in that early stretch of the season was really, really good. And then I thought when he went to San Francisco, things kind of got quiet a little bit. The NFC championship game, like there's a lot of people that were bagging on him in that. I saw some decent stuff in that game though. Like I don't think it was as bad as everybody was saying, but I think there's definitely an element of he needs to come in here and prove it. And we talked to him yesterday, and he hated that. Like he was asked about having to
saw that. He seemed a little defensive about it a little bit.
Yeah, there was definitely an edge to it, but like realistically, man, you signed a 1-year contract for $13 million, and you were the number 2 pick in the draft 4 years ago. Your 5th-year option didn't get picked up. There is a reason you are here right now. I think deep down he knows that, and he's just not going to feed into the narrative. But like, if he goes out and proves it, he's going to get paid all the money in the world, and he needs to prove it. But I mean, I think it's all there. I think he just needs to take it and stretch it out. And again, he was hurt for 2 years. Like I think that's something that kind of gets lost when in the narrative of him. But I mean, I think there's definitely a lot of really good stuff. And he's someone that, if he's just who he is and he's a $13 million player, that's what Carl Granderson is. And if you got 2 of them, at least like you've built a dam. Like, I don't know if it's the Hoover Dam and it's majestic, but like you've built a dam that is not going to flood on you, and you can at least be solid and you have a plan and it can work out. So I like it from that aspect. So I think the floor on this is good enough, but like I think the ceiling could be pretty high.
Yeah, and you got Brazil pushing the middle too, which can hurt. Real quick on the film stuff, the effort criticism has been kind of the critique of him, right? Maybe not all the way being bought in 24/7. Are you seeing that in film at all?
I mean, I think for sure. I think there's definitely some, and I don't know if it's fair to characterize it like that, but there's a lot of quiet snaps at times, and it just kind of feels like you could be doing a little bit more. But again, like I think the pressure last year, like I think some of that got quieted, and I don't know like if the conversation is adjusted totally accordingly, because if you're 17th in the league in pressures, like that's a pretty good number. Like it's way ahead of Carl Granderson. It's way ahead of Cam Jordan. So it was solid last year. I think just the transition to San Francisco, I felt like took away a little bit of momentum just when you're watching them, and that kind of makes sense. You're going to a new system and everything. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a fair criticism to wonder if there's a few too many quiet snaps from him. I think that's definitely something that he needs to prove. That's kind of the thing that's been hung on him. It's probably the reason he got $13 million in 1 year and, not 27 or, whatever it should be for the number 2 pick 4 years ago. So, yeah, I think it's definitely something that he needs to just go out and show that he can be a consistent producer. And, hopefully this is a system that gets it out of him.
Does the draft plan change with any of the signings the Saints have made so far?
I think they can go on the 14 with kind of a clean slate now. Like, it's not like this pressing thing that you have to do. Now, my thing here is like I would still love to see him double dip. And I know in a hurry it makes that room kind of crowded in the short term. But a year from now, like you might not have Chase Young. You might not have Cam Jordan, depending on what he decides to do with his with his career. I mean, like the cupboards become empty very, very quickly. Peyton Turner might not be here. Who knows what Foskey's going to look like a year from now? Maybe he hits, maybe he doesn't. So I think getting somebody in that pipeline, if they're there, like Versus there, Turner's there, like I would draft one of those guys still if they're there. But I don't think you have to anymore. I don't think you have to do anything at 14 anymore. Like if the right receiver's there, if Brock Bowers is there, if you want to trade down and draft, I don't know, Keon Coleman, like you could do that too. Like whatever you want to do, I think the door's open for kind of any direction you want to go. So, I think it drastically alters it. It takes that like pressing need off like if they had to field a team right now before Chase Young comes in, like it would have been massive trouble. And I don't know if this like changes my win prediction for them, but it makes me feel better about whatever direction they're going. So yeah, I definitely think it opens up their options at 14.
Last one for me here is O-line the most, I'm not saying draft need, but just in terms of a position group that maybe has to be addressed or fixed or that you got questions about, is offensive line the top of that list?
For me, yeah, that no question. I think it's something they still have to do. Andrews Pete was visiting the Titans, so I mean, I think there's a possibility that he takes off. Now, he's went out on the free agent tour before and brought his offer back, and the Saints met it. I think that might have been in 20. I feel like COVID was going on when that happened. So that's happened before, and he's come back. So it's definitely possible he could do that. But yeah, I think they got to figure something out there. You know, I do think that inside that building, there's more hope on Trevor Penning than there is probably between the three of us talking right now. Like I have no ability to look at that and say like, yeah, he could give him something. 'Cause I just haven't seen it, but I know they feel like he's someone that very much could be a starter next year, you know, and they feel like he's going to earn that. So we'll see. But I would definitely try to find someone to bring in and plug that gap. I feel like it's a must, but I don't know if there's the same sense of urgency with the team.
And with this draft being so deep at tackle, like they wouldn't have to necessarily do what they feel like, you know, always happens in the draft, which is move up and try to reach for a player like this. Tackle depth in this draft. Now the guard and center position is obviously not as deep, but like you would be looking at tackle, don't you think, if you drafted an offensive lineman?
It's super deep. Yeah. So I think they could do it without making it like a pressing got to do this type of move, and you might still be able to address it for sure. You know, if they're somehow able to bring Pete back, I feel a little bit better about that position. And I'm about to be a hypocrite here because like I have no reason to believe in Nick Saldiveri because we haven't seen anything. But I don't know, like I feel like he's going to be good just based off of what we saw in camp last year. I think there's hope for him, and I think the system suits him. I do think that the system suits Penning a little bit better than some of the stuff they were doing last year, even though there's a lot of similarities and crossover. But, you know, I do think that there's a possibility that he could be a little bit better. But, you know, if you're asking me, like, my ideal pick at 14 is an O-lineman. And I know it's boring and it stinks that you got to do it because you keep drafting guys on the line, both lines, over and over and over in the first round. And here you are back again sitting on it. But if they could draft a tackle, because, like, look, Ramczyk comes back and he plays fine, but like how much runway is there? Like the knee isn't going to get better. It's degenerative. It's not going to improve. The issues that hit him last year are only going to get worse going forward. You might be able to pause it, but that pause button is only going to hold for so long. So even if like Penning comes and he's great and you draft an O-lineman at 14 and there's maybe not an immediate need for another tackle, there will be very, very soon. So I don't think it's a bad pick, even if it doesn't address what you need right this moment. So I feel like that's still, like, for me, I'd be trying to get no lineman there. I just don't think that they're going to view it that way.
Nick Underhill, NewOrleans.football is the site. The team is locked in for free agency, the offseason whole, the NFL draft. You want to go subscribe. If you are a Saints fan, you owe it to yourself. At Nick_Underhill on Twitter. Nick, thank you so much, my friend.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
All right, take it easy, brother. So Nick already sent the film. Yeah, I mean, look, man, pretty much Chase Young, I mean, the numbers say it, but yeah, probably your best pass rusher. And again, now going to San Francisco, going to the new system, his numbers took a dip. But remember, in those first 7 games in Washington, 5 sacks, 5th in the NFL in pressures. That's their pressure rate, right? Yeah. So that's pretty sexy, dude. Especially now teamed up with Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, to kind of teach him some ways. The leadership of Tyron, Granderson rushing on the other side. Like, again, I'm not going to say it's one of the best groups in the NFL, but it's a solid group. It's top 15, top 12, maybe. We'll see.
I think the most important thing is you have a player that is still young. You have a player that last year got back on track when he was healthy in Chase Young. And you have a player that is going to be hungry, if healthy, to prove that he deserves a 3-4 year contract. That's some major money.
Yeah.
So, like, he's going to be as motivated as he's been in his NFL career. Not that motivation's been a problem, but injuries have been a problem with him.
Yeah.
But when he's been on the field, he's been healthy. He's been a really productive player in this league. And I do think it can change what you need in the draft. And because this is such a deep tackle class, like, it's going to be crazy. You could even move back if you wanted to.
If you can find a partner.
If you could find somebody that wanted a player at 14, you can move back to 18, 19, whatever that number might be, and you could get another draft choice. And I think you could still get a starting quality offensive lineman at 19, 20 in this draft. Now, again, guard and center, the depth is not there. So if you have plans to take a guard, because you need a guard as well. Mm-hmm. And if you believe in Trevor Penning, and you want to put him out there at tackle, you could do that. not to say that it's just like snap your fingers and it happens, but that transition feels easier than going from guard to tackle, certainly.
Yeah.
And if you want to do that, you could, because I don't know that you'll find what you're looking for that portion of the draft at guard. Like, you could wait till the second, third round, I think, for guard and maybe have a project with a guy that you feel like you can develop. But I don't know about day one starter anywhere else in 14.
And then I'll just echo what I said in the first segment where we were talking about Chase Young. Again, to come out of a knee injury in which you tear your ACL and blow up your patellar tendon, like, that's an extended recovery time. So I understand having a couple of down years, but then to come back and have the year you had last year, I think that speaks to someone who's on the rise. So we're going to see. But an exciting move for sure. And New Orleans on Football, the site. All right, when we get back, more OTB. Keep it locked.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
CentralPlumbing.org. Hey, guys, remember the Dreams Come True golf tournament is next Monday. It's going down to U Club. It's going to be a ton of fun. And Central Plumbing is auctioning off a team, okay? You go on 1045ESPN.com, $1,000. You and four of your buddies. Everybody go in together. Let's have ourselves a Monday. Dreams Come True is an organization that helps Louisiana kids and their families' dreams come true. So think about like Make-A-Wish, but only for Louisiana, right? And so you have these families and these children who have been dealt the toughest of circumstances. Well, you go bid on that team for next Monday. I'm going with you. We're going to go golfing together all day, okay? Beers, margs, golf, fun. And at the end of the day, you're helping a kid and his family that needs it most. Like somebody said, oh, what, paying money to golf team up? No. You're paying money to support the most noble of causes. And we're just going to have a lot of fun and beers along the way. So shout out Central Plumbing for doing this. Thank you to Dreams Come True. CentralPlumbing.org, CentralPlumbing.org.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
So Alondra just put in the group chat, but tweet from Bleacher Report, Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, George Kittle, Debo Samuel, Amon-Ra St. Brown going to star in Receiver docuseries on Netflix this summer. So it's like quarterback, but receiver. Huh. So there you go. Go see some Jets.
Let me know when fullback comes out.
Who'd they follow? It's just Juice Chick. It's just an entire show about Juice Chick and his wife.
That's weird because multiple fullbacks play in the championship games.
I wonder how many, if I'm being honest. Okay, I'm going to name all the fullbacks that I can right now. And it's admittedly a sad list because I'm also not the best NFL guy anyway to begin with.
I don't want to do this.
Juice Chick.
I don't want you to throw
Alex Arma.
Alex
Arma.
We're not doing this.
Mitch Brown. John Stevens. Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey.
Plays for the Sixers.
Yeah, he's a basketball player. Where did that even come from?
I don't know. I was trying to make up names, but then I thought my names were sounding too white, and then I just fell. I was with Tyrese, but then I just went with Maxey because the name recognition, I think.
Saints have two fullbacks, so.
Yeah, Alex Arma is one of them, right?
Mm-mm.
Damn. Oh, what's his name? Adam Prentice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fumbling ass. That shows you why you can't make a mistake as a fullback, right? Because that's all that sticks out there. No,
you bet not make one mistake.
Taylor, why is everybody talking about a Livingston Parish nudist colony that you run?
So they asked me if I was participating, and I said, sure, why not? No, so a thing went around social media the other day. It's a proposed site out in the Satsuma area for the Koyel Nudist and RV Park.
Okay.
That could potentially be coming. So, yeah, that's
somebody will
possibly
be.
Well, yeah.
But
there or other places. But, yeah, it could possibly be a site for it. Well, and a lot of people are mad because, it's not far from, residential area. So they're like, we don't want this here. Will there be high fences? So it's an issue.
I could see it being an issue when, in a more kind of conservative sort of, maybe more Bible Belt-esque area in which you're going to plop a nudist colony that's probably always going to cause some waves. I think there's kind of an eternal truth with nudist colonies, which is, as a junior high boy, you think they would be awesome. But as you become an adult, you realize that I don't think you're ever going to see. It's like Marty Gras, right? I never saw anything at Mardi Gras that I was excited to see. Despite whatever fantasies I may have had growing up about eventually going to do Mardi Gras in the big city as a college kid, just really never saw anything. I could have gone my entire life without seeing the things that I saw. And I feel like any nude beach, anything like that I've ever seen, that would be the case as well.
Well, especially the area it's in. Look, European. I can say this. I'm from that area. It's probably not the best area to put a nudist colony. Just my personal opinion. So
they have a little area in Lake Travis in Austin called Hippie Hollow.
Where Austin seems like probably
that makes a lot more
good
sense,
and called Hippie Hollow. That seems great. Also, if you were going to attract, because you're right. I guess some nude beaches in Europe and stuff, you're getting some attractive human beings both ways. Austin might stand an okay chance of getting some attractive human beings as well. LP, maybe not so sure. I got
Day Brazil.
No.
They have the for a couple years now. They have the
Bass Pro Shop.
It wasn't me either, guys. Relax.
A couple years ago, they put in the swinger trailer park in Mamu.
So
that's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing.
How'd that go?
I don't know
sounds
if it's currently
greasy
still going.
as hell.
Do you know what their slogan was? This is not made up. Do you know what their slogan was?
No,
it was bring your house and share your spouse.
Okay.
For the swinger trailer park.
That's a good slogan.
That is a good slogan.
That is a good slogan, objectively.
To the point, it rhymes.
If we're just talking about marketing, memorability, I got a business idea.
Uh-oh.
You like Nudies?
I love it.
Nudies. And we're just serving sandwiches up to all the naked people. You know? Just rip them off.
So there's a Nudist bar downtown Nashville, and it's not what you would think it is. It's not what you would think it is.
Doesn't Key West
There's like
have
a
like nude
Florida
bars or
retirement
something?
community that's all swingers there.
Really? Well, yeah, I could see that, but I thought like
I don't know
like
about
Key
Key
West
West.
has like public places where you're like allowed to be nude at bars that like you could kind of normally stumble into. I could be wrong. Oh look, Holden Man said he wrote a blog in the trailer park. I'll have to check that out.
I've not been lucky enough to make my way to Key West, so I don't know.
I've
never been either, man. I've always wanted to go.
But we missed out on the stop.
I hear it's fun.
I've heard very good things.
Yeah.
Kind of like the pirate history of it all. I'd love to check that out.
Yeah.
I think the Ernest Hemingway convention takes place there. Now, I have a kind of a blind spot for Hemingway. I should read more of him. My dad's obsessed with him, but that'd be fun. Jeff G says I could see T-Bob and Jake doing a remote at the new nudist colony. Nudist colony?
Proposed nudist colony.
Yeah. Oh, proposed. It's not
confirmed
passed.
yet. They have like a proposed site for a possible future nudist colony.
Oh, Brandon Solu says a nudist park in Mamu never happened.
It was
a troll job.
The interview with KLFY.
I don't know if that's true or not.
KLFY did an interview with the guy.
Hold the mail. What actually is a swinger in 2024?
Yeah, I feel like everybody's a swinger these days. No, not everybody, but
swinger.
a majority of people are swingers.
A swinger is, somebody who wants to partner swap and whatnot, right? Somebody who can be in a relationship but not be sexually monogamous. That's what I would say.
Some people do it without their partner's permission.
Now that's not swinging.
That's called cheating.
That's cheating. That's a little different. And I would say do not besmirch the good name of
swingers?
true swingers.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Who have confidence.
I'm really sorry to the swinger community.
Why? Wait, whoa! Why would you not be? Hold on, you can't. What? Just because their
I don't take that community
their
seriously
enjoyments
at all.
may be different than yours. That you get to just look your nose down on them and act like they can't legitimately swing.
Yeah.
I just think it takes a lot of confidence in you and your partner. Like you have to be very secure in your relationship, and it's not for everyone.
Definitely not.
Yeah, don't be hating on polyamorous people just because it's not for us.
I am a hater, so
that's fair. Yeah.
I will hate on swingers.
Yeah, I see. The Mayo says, swingers doing it right are honest, transparent folks. I agree. DA more cheaters than swingers. Yes, exactly. Guys, cheaters are not swingers. Let's be painfully clear about this. You don't get to excuse yourself by saying, "Oh no, I'm just a swinger." If you're running around behind your significant other's back, married or not, banging other dudes or girls, it's not allowed.
Yeah, I feel like swinger, like more contracts involved. There's consent by both
No, it's
parties.
just honest.
Yeah,
Both parties
Crazy
know. Both
conversation.
parties know exactly what's going on. And there's different levels to this.
Both parties there at the same time?
If
Most of the
so I
time,
would say, like
right?
a true
So like
singer,
each couple has their own boundaries and limits
But
and stuff, right?
some people are into hot wife stuff, or maybe they get cuckolded, where they don't maybe the guy doesn't want to be
What are we
involved,
doing?
or vice versa, and
What
they
are
just
we
want their
doing?
spouse to get with other people, and they kind of get off on that. Everybody's into different things here, y'all. Let's just get our terminology right. That's all I'm asking. And don't
Oh my god.
don't excuse cheating, and don't besmirch true swinging by making them equivalent to one another, because they're not. Ask the bench, is Jerry Falwell Jr. considered a swinger? I think he was a bit more cuckolded, but I don't know. It was his wife and the pool boy, right?
This is insane.
But then they bought the pool boy like an entire house and stuff. Did you know that?
I don't even know.
The Liberty guy?
No. I
Liberty,
didn't know that.
Not Liberty Bibberty. That's a commercial. Liberty College.
Oh, you know that guy too, don't you?
Yes, my boy. Liberty College.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I vaguely remember us talking about that at the time.
Yeah.
When it happened.
Bought the pool boy a house.
Man.
Hey now.
Huh.
See? But they were into it. And if that's them, man, that's cool. Do your thing. Like I'm not here to judge, man. If there's one thing you've learned on this earth, it's never doubt a human being's ability to be turned on by anything. And I mean anything. There's a reason why Rule 34 of the internet exists. Don't Google Rule 34.
They don't work Wi-Fi either.
Ever. Especially not on work Wi-Fi. Ask the bench, if you had to swing with your fellow OTB couples, who'd it be? I'd swing with Katie and Jake.
I knew that was coming. I like that we're talking swinging from a guy that's been with his wife since he was 17.
Exactly. Talk a big game. No, I don't think swinging would work with our relationship. Honestly. So.
I don't think you could swing with somebody that you work with.
I wish Caitlin was listening to this conversation because I would love to hear her reaction to you even having this conversation.
She might be. She's been listening a lot lately, actually. Kind of funny. She's been calling me out.
So I was getting my nails done the other day, and the lady asked me like what my job was, and I was telling her that like I do this show, and I think Caitlin and I go get our nails done at the same place.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she was like, "Oh, I know T-Bob. His wife comes in here."
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go get a pedicure.
Oh, they don't do men at the salon that I go to.
What you mean?
So it's not a swinging setup.
They don't do men's nails.
Really?
Yeah, there's a sign outside that says that they only do women's.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's the first place I've been to that did that.
Oh.
I mean, you're allowed in there. They just won't do your nails.
You can watch. Going back to T-Bob.
So I was going to say you're allowed inside. What am I going to do? Just stand there and watch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, some people are into that, T-Bob.
I know.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
Some people love
I thought
feet.
we weren't shaming.
Some people love feet. I'm not shaming, dude. I mean, feet aren't for me, but if they're for you, do your thing, bro.
Well, like I said, I think I'm going to sell pics
Yeah.
so I can go to UFC at the Sphere in Vegas.
Look, you do what you got to do.
Mhm.
If you got to sell a little arch to get to the Sphere,
Yeah.
you do what you got to do. Okay? What's the website again?
Feetfinder.com.
Okay, we'll
Is that
push
what
out
I
the
need
link.
to be on there?
We'll push out
I'll
the
let y'all
link.
know when I start uploading.
I
so
think
that-
T-Bob really has a future on that website as well. Like if he lists his stats, like being 6'4", 280, and these are the size of his feet, I think that would intrigue some people.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just had a very good friend who I would say is, in the scene.
Really?
And he said, "Thank you for clearing that up, Lamau. Best segment ever." See?
Oh.
So thank you, you condescending people, trying to come after a community that did nothing to you.
Yeah, I mean.
I don't really know how to end the segment. So let's just pull
Let's
out.
swing out. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. We were.
Gosh, I don't like.
Taking a break, Chipper.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Trash Rangers. Go to Trash Rangers today. It's time to cheat on the national trash companies, okay? Go behind their back and end it. If you're in Livingston Parish or Ascension Parish, you're lucky enough that you are able to. Some of us don't have a choice. We're locked in. Sucks. But it's anything but when you work with Trash Rangers. You probably, if you live in Livingston or Ascension, you've probably seen your neighbors with the red cans, the red trucks. Okay, that's Trash Rangers. They're going to send you texts the night before they show up so you never forget to put out the trash again. You go to trashsignup.com. In just 3 minutes, you select the amount of cans, you see the price, the pickup days, and unlike these national companies which keep the trash here but take the profits out of state, everything stays right here in Louisiana. Trash Rangers, trashsignup.com.
And if you forget to swing your trash can to the front of your house, they'll remind you. Weekly text reminders from Trash Rangers, trashrangersllc.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
It's the details that make the difference between good enough and simply the best. At Skag Power Equipment, the difference is in designing lawnmowers with your convenience and comfort in mind. At Skag, we believe that quality and substance matter, and that you'll appreciate the attention to detail and craftsmanship we put into every single product. Thick steel and heavy-duty components provide you with unmatched reliability and performance. Skag, simply the best.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
I'm ready, Slick, are you? Oh yeah, take it down. Girl, I must warn you, I sense something strange in my mind.
All right, welcome back in to OTB. Before we get into the NIT action, LSU North Texas tonight, I want to remind you about Rejuvenate Medical. Go to rejuvenatemedical.com. Get your consultation set up today. Maybe you're dealing with something and you don't know what it is. They can get to the bottom of it at Rejuvenate Medical. New locations, one in Mississippi, one in North Louisiana in Monroe. So check out those new locations. Also in Shreveport as well. They're all over the place. They're continuing to grow, and they are going to help you get to the bottom of whatever issue you are dealing with. RejuveMeMedical.com. No, T-Bob did not get suspended, by the way, for that last segment. He already said he had a field trip to go to, and so T-Bob had to bail a little bit early. But we do have NIT action, LSU, North Texas, and Taylor. LSU and North Texas have already played each other this year. The Tigers were victorious. So give us a little preview of LSU, North Texas tonight in the NIT.
It's going to be a tough matchup. I mean, we were talking during break, and I was like, I could see North Texas pulling off the upset here, just like I could see LSU winning. I mean, it kind of runs through Jason Edwards. He's our sophomore guard, averaging 19 a game. He's also efficient. He shoots over 40% from the court, 35% from three, over 80% from the free throw line. So, I mean, he's just a shooter. And, you know, on Friday, they were in the AAC tournament. They lost to a really good Florida Atlantic team by only 6 points. And in their last 5 matchups, they have not scored under 71. So, like, they're a team that they can shoot if you give them the opportunity. LSU has been susceptible to that in the past. So, I mean, I think it's going to be a big-time matchup. LSU better come to play.
Now, is it important in the opinion in the room that LSU goes and wins an NIT game? Was getting to the NIT enough to show the growth that we're talking about? Their conference record of the Power 6 conferences in college basketball, it was second only to South Carolina. Is it important for them to win a game? Because I kind of think it is. Like, you're hosting. This game is in Baton Rouge. It's in the PMAC. You can get in tickets as low as $23. So if you want to go see some basketball tonight, you can get that done. I kind of think it's important. Like, win a game in the NIT that shows continued growth. Because if I'm not mistaken, and Taylor, maybe you can help me here, the year that Will Wade made the NIT, they won one game in the NIT. Was it against ULL? Right?
Yeah.
Am I correct?
That
there,
was the arena,
conference.
not gym thing.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was so good.
Yeah.
And then they lost the next round, but it was like winning that one game felt like that was a good building block for LSU basketball.
Yeah, I think
playing
they
in
do
an
need to win
arena,
a game.
not a gym.
Yeah.
The good news is if they don't win this game, you still finish the season with a winning record. You're 17-15 right now, so you'll finish 17-16. And what I look at as the most important, it's the 500 record in SEC play in regular season. You finished a 9-9 already. You went from 2 wins to 9 wins. So, like, I think it's a bonus, and I think you're right. It's a huge stepping stone, but I'm not going to be, like, just beside myself if they lose. I still think they did a lot of good things this year.
Will you watch, now y'all might be working, but would you watch LSU baseball in the midweek, or are you going to watch the NIT game?
So we're each doing, like, I'm doing the baseball game and he's doing the NIT game. So I'm going to be watching the baseball game.
In the chat, let us know, because, y'all are working the games, and so I hope that you are paying attention to the game that you're working, but are you going to watch midweek baseball, or are you going to watch LSU in the NIT? Because I think it's an important game for them. Growth of the program, like all the things Taylor said, I agree with him. And if you can go win an NIT game, I realize it's, typically tabbed as the not invited tournament, but still where you're trying to go. And it's shown in recent LSU basketball history that winning an NIT game can maybe set up a nice run of LSU basketball.
Yeah.
So
I think if you're asking what I'd rather watch, I would be tuned into the baseball game because I want to see how they bounce back against Louisiana Tech and see how we're going to go into the weekend hosting Florida.
I'm in the minority on this. She's probably in the majority. I mean, this is a big baseball town. I've always loved basketball. It's like right behind football. It's my second favorite sport. So even if I wasn't working it, I'd probably be tuned into the NIT, but I will fully admit that I'm probably in the minority on that.
yes, you are, because the chat is definitely watching baseball tonight. But still, great opportunity. You can get in for $20. Go watch LSU basketball if you want to see the continued development of this squad. Some really good basketball. We talked to Kim Mulkey. Obviously, you can go watch, Middle Tennessee and Louisville. You can certainly watch LSU and Rice, and then hopefully if LSU advances, which we expect them fully to do, you'll have another basketball game to watch here in Baton Rouge. And so some good basketball coming your way. All right, we are going to step away, and when we come back, I did want to talk some NCAA tournament big picture, just get maybe the winner from everyone in the room. All right, so I know we're going to do Ask the Bench as well, but we're going to go around the room. Who do you think is going to win the NCAA tournament on the men's side of things, and who do you think is going to be the top Cinderella in the NCAA tournament coming up? And we'll do that to wrap up today's Off the Bench, almost said Off Campus, when we come back here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com, and there you can find it all. If you're buying new, if you're leasing, or if you are looking to rent. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, they have everything available, multiple options. If you're wanting to lease, which is what I currently do with All-Star, everything, same process is available. So everything is available, multiple options there as well. Rental department, got spring break coming up. A lot of times you'll see, even if they even offer rentals, there'll be like 3 options: one sedan, one SUV, maybe a truck, maybe a van. Not the case over at All-Star. Everything is available. So what you see when you can buy new, what you see when you're leasing a vehicle, that is also available in the rental department. So if you need something bigger for vacation, if you want something better on gas mileage for vacation, even if you're not buying new or leasing, that can be available. You call Miss Lisa Sessions in the rental department today. Get it set up, get it reserved. It will be there waiting on you. You can find more information at allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
It's the details that make the difference between good enough and simply the best. At Skag Power Equipment, the difference is in designing lawnmowers with your convenience and comfort in mind. At Skag, we believe that quality and substance matter, and that you'll appreciate the attention to detail and craftsmanship we put into every single product. Thick steel and heavy-duty components provide you with unmatched reliability and performance. Skag, simply the best.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, and welcome back in to Off the Bench. I want to remind you, go to academpbr.com, academpbr.com, because we don't really know what season it is. Is it winter? Is it spring? We don't know. Sometimes the AC's on, sometimes the heater's on, and if you don't want to shock your system, go to academpbr.com to make sure it is working at its peak performance. They'll come in and they'll make sure of that. You can also schedule that appointment online. Again, go to academpbr.com. All right, before we get to Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Coors Light, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, Blue Moon, Light Sky, Citrus Sweet, NCAA Tournament. All right, we're going to go around the room. We're going to get your favorite to win the NCAA Tournament, and then also your Cinderella team. 10 seed or higher, I think, to qualify as a Cinderella.
So it has to be double digits.
I think it has to be double digits.
Yeah,
I think that makes sense. All right, so Alondra.
Okay, so my favorite, I'm going to go with Houston.
Okay.
That's a basketball school there. They usually do very well.
Play great defense,
yes.
Unique style.
Yeah.
Like that pick.
So I'm going to go with my favorite Houston. My sleeper, this might just be, everybody knows I'm like a Will Wade apologist. Like, I'm a huge fan of Will Wade. I love what he's doing at McNeese. I love his idea on recruiting.
Yeah.
That's my sleeper. I'm going to go with McNeese.
Not a bad
facing
pick.
Gonzaga in the first round. Let's see if they can get it done. I mean, love me some Will Wade.
Y'all
so.
know how much I love Gonzaga.
Yeah.
And so I think Gonzaga's overseeded.
Yeah.
So I think they should have probably been more of a 7 seed. And McNeese, I think, is a really good basketball team.
They
and y'all
are.
know that I think a lot of Will Wade as well, as far as getting a program together. So that's not a bad pick. I actually like both of those picks. All right, Taylor, who do you have?
For my favorite, now, look, we talked about this during break. If you'd asked me a week ago, I would have said Houston. They were great against Kansas, 30-point win. I can't get a 40-point blowout out of my head. I just can't do it, and that's their most recent game. It's kind of a boring pick, but UConn's just been so consistent all year long. I mean, they've kind of consistently been the best team from start to finish. But I'll tell you another team I'd like to kind of keep an eye on. They're a 2 seed. It's Iowa State. Iowa State's really good. They're a complete basketball team. They're actually the ones that beat Houston by 40 in that Big 12 championship. And as far as a sleeper team I like Grand Canyon, the Antelopes, the 12 seed. They're playing St. Mary's in the first round. That's a very winnable matchup for them. If they win that, they get Alabama. And Alabama can score.
Streaky, yeah.
But I mean, they can score as well. You know, they're averaging about 80 points a game or close to it. And we've seen Alabama struggle defensively. So all Alabama needs is one bad shooting game, and Grand Canyon could easily get into the Sweet 16 if they win both those matchups. So I like their matchups, and they've looked really good offensively and defensively.
Look, I think St. Mary's wins that game. I like St. Mary's against Alabama as well. St. Mary's is a very, very veteran team that certainly can score, and they can also bog the game down if they want to. It's a unique style there for St. Mary's. As far as favorite, I'll go North Carolina. I think North Carolina has pros, which you have to make a tournament run. You have to have a dynamic guard to make a tournament run. They have that in R.J. Davis. He averages over 20 points per game. And then you got to have some veteran players. Armando Bacot is as veteran can be. He's been at North Carolina since Jerry Stackhouse was there. So he is somebody that knows the NCAA tournament. He's played in an NCAA tournament championship game. They have multiple players that have done that. And so, for that reason, I think North Carolina is a good favorite to pick. As far as Cinderella team, I think Nevada. Nevada is a 10 seed, so right there on the edge of what we're talking about qualifying as a Cinderella. They get Dayton in the first round, very winnable game. And then Arizona, who I just do not believe in. I think Tommy Lloyd's a very good offensive basketball coach, but they're not a complete basketball team. Steve Alford is the head coach at Nevada. If anybody knows the NCAA tournament as a player or a coach, it is Steve Alford. So for that reason, I picked Nevada to be the team that I think can actually make a Sweet 16, a 10 seed or higher. All right, let's go to Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Cruise Light, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, Blue Moon, Light Sky, Citrus, Wheat. We'll see if we have any questions. Or actually, let's just get to some of maybe the picks of the teams. Arizona to win. I just crapped all over Arizona, and now we got Arizona to win. NC State to be a Cinderella. NC State's, man, gosh, one of those teams, obviously they're hot as hot, winning the ACC tournament 5 games in 5 days. The question with that is, are they going to have tired legs? Or are they going to have momentum?
We talked about it in weekend winners. I put them in there. Their coach was on the verge of getting fired. Now he has a 2-year extension. I don't know. I think they could win their first round game. They might run out of gas, though.
It's kind of the question with all the Big 12 teams as well. All that you had to go through each and every night because the Big 12 was so deep, is that going to callous you for this NCAA tournament, or is it going to be fatigue? And I think you saw Houston run into some fatigue in the Big 12 championship game. Even though they had a top seed in that tournament, they didn't look like the same team defensively. So I'm excited about it. It's one of the best times of the year. And, of course, that starts in Dayton, I believe, tonight. And then you've got the real action starting on Thursday. All right, that's going to do it for us. We will see you the same time, the same place tomorrow for Off the Bench here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Enjoy your day.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, of course, we are going to tell you about the MMR Group, and you can actually go to their website, mmrgrp.com, to find out more information. They are right here in Baton Rouge. Their campus is right there off Airline Highway, and it is somebody that you want to be a part of. You can go to the website again, mmrgrp.com, if you want to check out that list of careers. Notice we did not say jobs. We said careers, because once you get started with MMR, it is a company that you are going to want to grow with. You're going to want to be a part because they have been doing it for so long. And if you want to find out more information as well, just go to any search engine, type in MMR Group, and it's going to pull up exactly what we're talking about. Locations, so many different locations across this country, right? Not just here in Baton Rouge, but started right here in Baton Rouge, still in the community. Again, mmrgrp.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade.